If I told you the things I've seen on my ways, if I told you the things I've done in my days, you wouldn't believe me anyway. So it's best I just don't say. Lived 1,000 lives, I piloted 1,000 souls, I killed and fought and died just for a single role.
Hello, and welcome. Oh, what happened? Okay.
Oh, there's no.
Oh yeah, there's no
control on that one now.
Yeah, you just so if you need, like, I can switch it off over here if you need me to do that. Hi, I'm Jason, and this is Shadowrun on Happy Jacks. It's called the Greenwood Collective because that's the name of the apartment building they live in the Barrens, in like the worst part of Seattle that the police don't go to anymore. But fortunately, the benevolent Rise Corp has arrived in the Barrens to make everything better. And if there's anything we know about huge mega corporations, they only make things better. So, let's go around, say who you are, a little bit about who your character is, and what they were up to, just briefly, last session.
Hi, I'm Jay. My character is Ashen. I am an elf.
Yep.
Nobody needs to question that at all.
Asterisk.
There's no asterisk. I am an adept, so I've turned my magic inward to be a kung fu fighter.
Yeah.
And I was at a management retreat last session, as you will all learn, where I did very well.
Yeah.
And everything went completely smoothly and exactly as it should have.
Jay's character is also the group's face.
Yes.
And so those charismatic skills got him on the management track. When, but you're fooling Rise Corp.
Oh, yeah.
You have infiltrated them for your own purposes.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
I'm Sam. I play Echo, and she is an elf.
No asterisk?
Nope, she's definitely actually an elf.
Hey.
She has a sister that looks very similar to her. Some might call them identical twins.
Is that because they're identical twins?
Maybe.
Yeah. It's a good reason to call someone that.
Yeah, kind of. She hates corporations, and she's a trash witch.
Yep. And made no effort to try to infiltrate Rise Corp.
No, but she does want to explode it from the inside.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Maybe do a little bit of that poltergeist style action that I did last time.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Hi, I'm Candace, and my half-orc character is named Bones, and she is the decker of the group. And she did get hired at Rise Corp in their computer department. And
The title is so much cooler, though.
I forgot.
It's so long. No, I don't remember it either.
Down, but it's such a cool title.
It's a bullshit title, but yeah.
But it sounds awesome. I'll find it. But last time she got highlighted for a moment was finding an agent, a new spider backpack, which we'll find out what it is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and we were talking about that offline. You can shut it down and run two programs instead.
Yeah, because it runs as a program. Yeah.
Yeah.
Up on that.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Hey guys, I am Mac. I am playing Gremlin, who may also be an identical twin to somebody at the table.
Is it Ashen?
You
Yes,
toast.
yes.
Toast Ashen.
Identical. In every way.
Yeah.
Identical.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Years, because we're elves.
Definitely all elves.
Yeah, and she's an elf, and she has a lot of guns. Her dream is to be a Shadowrunner, and last time she drove a vehicle over a bunch of bad guys.
Yeah,
You
she
did? And what did you? How did you pilot that vehicle when you saw there was definitely a trap line across the road?
Oh, I just went right the fuck over it.
Yeah, floored it. I think, in fact, was your term.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not swerve or avoid, but straight through.
You just have to drive faster than the explosion.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And it worked out great. Unfortunately, Gremlin has not been discouraged from this tactic in any way because it actually worked.
Yeah.
So,
So I'm
Great.
gonna keep at it.
So Gremlin, do that thing you do.
yeah.
You need to go
Yeah.
somewhere.
Okay.
Yep,
So-
we didn't learn any consequences from our field trip. No, nope.
So,
Do more things.
the brief recap last time, so Jay wasn't able to join us, and so his character was off on a management retreat because they immediately pulled you into the management track, and
Because my credentials are impeccable.
well, and in fact they have created authentic identifications for all of you,
Yeah.
which is a mixed bag, and I think at some point. Rooster is giving you a little bit of a lecture about this of like, okay, all of your biometrics are in the system now, your fingerprints, your face, your gait, right? All of those things are in the Matrix. And so if you decide to crime again, you will need to have masks or other ways of sort of obscuring your identity. So beware of that for those of you who are on the books, as it were, Bones and Ashen. So you were out of town. The rest of you went on a field trip with Rooster because he wanted to scope out Rise Corp. He had kind of interviewed Bones to see what her experience was like there, what was the layout, and then we went down to the basement to find out Rooster was not a simple groundskeeper.
What?
There was a whole
Shocked face.
garage workshop, like gun cabinets.
Batcave.
Yeah, Batcave. It was a Batcave for sure. That he was able to drive a Humvee out through like a crack in the wall, and
A troll-sized Humvee.
yeah,
Not just a
troll-sized
regular
Humvee.
one.
Who was actually piloted by Gremlin, because Rooster chose to sit in the sort of electronic countermeasure seat to see what was going on.
Fair.
Yep.
So, interesting thing about that is it went through a disused subway tunnel and came out in our old park where we lost Smitty. So I guess we'll just call it Smitty Park from now on.
Smitty Park.
Yeah.
But drove through town, did a cruise by the building, got a pretty good look at what was going on. Nothing jumped out and attacked you. Not Samantha, your character.
Echo.
Left her body. I don't know if you've left your body before, out of character, but Echo did.
I'll never tell.
That's frankly none of my business.
This is definitely my body. My original one, Yep.
The only one I've ever had right now. But you astrally projected, got to have a little look around. We saw there was actually a fair amount of like genuine, sort of bio presence on the outside of the building that would certainly prevent you from going through the walls. And we learned that the apple trees out front are part of a strategic sort of defense network in astral space.
Yeah.
So who knows how all that works or what happens if it's breached? Like that, none of that is immediately obvious. But on the way home, we discovered Gremlin's penchants for flooring it, is the technical term. We ran over an explosive set by a gang. Oh, does anyone remember what I named that gang? They were nerds. They're like a tech gang.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I wrote it down.
Yeah, I didn't write it down either because it wasn't that important because you guys knocked the crap out of them. The Humvee was like smashed into part of a building, but that wasn't a big deal because it's armored and it was fine. These guys came out. We had a poltergeist spell go off. We had the hacker go and discover that this nerd gang had a mesh network from all their comm links, and that network was able to support an agent that was kind of backing them up. An agent in Shadowrun is not a full AI, but it is like a very advanced Siri or Alexa or anything like that. Sorry if I just set off your device. Use headphones. Use headphones next time. But I won't say that all the time, I promise. So the agent, which we'll need you to name at some point, Candace, the agent has so agents in Shadowrun are essentially a generic term, and they can run the programs that you have on your cyberdeck. Like they can sort of autopilot your computer, and they are about as smart as a dog who understands computers, or like probably a better analogy is like the auto drive component of a car, that it can sort of problem solve a little bit and drive through the city. But if that auto drive tried to go out to the Barrens, it would either slow way down because it doesn't know what to do off of the grid, or just stop and be like, uh-oh, road gone. We're like, the road's right there. That's not road, right? They're very kind of focused and almost childlike sometimes in their sort of like inability to think around corners, but extremely useful if you need it to do work while you do biological things like sleeping or running for your life. They can operate in your equipment without, like you can just give them an instruction and they will just mindlessly do that task until they're told not to or they fail. So.
I was kind of looking it up, but it's send message to change their command.
Yeah.
That's a simple action, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's like a simple action at most?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But it might have been a free action, but I'm pretty sure it's not.
No.
Yeah, okay.
That would be too OP.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it has its own like initiative track if it ends up being in Matrix combat with you. So that's our recap. Anything that I left out that seems important?
I think that's
I'm sure
pretty much it. Yeah.
We'll mention things when we have to. One of the things that came up during Stars and Wishes was talking about how do we use Edge, which I read the like 3 paragraphs. It actually wasn't very difficult, and I should have done beforehand.
It's daunting, okay? The book is large.
It's so big. It's heavier than my laptop. I swapped out my laptop to put the rule book in my backpack, and my backpack got heavier. Like
That seems right.
Yep.
okay, so there is spending edge and burning edge. All right. So, what's everyone's edge score?
1.
1.
3. Okay. So, you have that many edge points. All right? So, when you spend an edge point, it doesn't affect your edge attribute. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Your edge attribute, you can raise with karma just like any attribute. I don't remember the exact rate that you spend it at, but you can spend karma to raise that attribute. Everyone has a maximum of 6, except for... Are you human? Oh, no. Oh, right. Well, yes. Well, okay. So the joke... Yeah. The joke... so Jay took a quality from the book called Elf Poser, and his character wants everyone to think that he's an elf. So, out of character. It's worth explaining.
It is.
And it's a little unclear whether everyone thinks you're genuinely an elf or not in your community, I mean.
Yeah, no, they totally buy it.
Yeah, okay. But the fact that you're actually human means your edge score maximum is actually 7 instead of 6, which is what everyone else gets. So humans are lucky.
La-di-da.
So.
Well, they need it.
Yeah, they do.
Just they're lame. Humans are dumb.
So, edge score. There are 6 ways to spend your edge points, right? Which you just get back from resting or doing some cool shit or whatever. And I will occasionally try to award you an edge point. And so if you haven't spent any edge, you can't go over your maximum, right? Now, you guys with 1 edge, it might feel bad to use it in the wrong time, right?
Yeah,
so
I used mine the last time.
right. So, but we've had a good rest at this point, so you'll refresh that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But spending edge points. One way is the blitz. You can roll 5 initiative dice, right? And that's ignoring what you would normally roll, right? You roll 5 instead of however many dice you're supposed to roll, and then add your initiative to that, and probably get a real high initiative.
Yeah.
A close call will let you negate a glitch. Like the roll stands as is, but the glitch is just a failed roll now. And it will turn a critical glitch into a basic glitch.
Okay.
Okay? The dead man is, you get to make a roll to, if you are dying or going unconscious, you can spend an edge point to take one final action before that your unconsciousness takes effect. And it's also important to understand you can only apply like one use of edge to any roll, right? Mm-hmm. So you can't like do like this next thing, push your limit, and then also do the second chance thing, which comes next, right? So push your limits is you get to ignore whatever limit it says on your task. You know, it invokes the rule of 6, which I'll explain in a second, and it actually adds your edge attribute to the roll, right? So if you spend a point to use push your limit, that point is spent, but your edge attribute is still 1 or 3, right? Like that, it doesn't reduce the attribute. So if you're doing your firearms check and you've got your firearms plus your agility, you would also add your edge attribute to whatever that is. Cool. You ignore whatever sort of physical limit or mental limit would apply to that roll normally. And the rule of 6 says anything that comes up as a 6, you get to reroll for potential another success forever, right? Like if that comes up as a 6, roll it again. And it's just that many successes.
Nice.
Okay? So that one's a real tempting one to use, like up front when you want to do that. You can also choose to do it after the fact and say, like, you were like, okay, actually I want to add my edge to that. Like you rolled it and it was like close to what you're wanting. So you can roll 3 more dice, but the rule of 6 would only apply to those 3.
Got it.
All right?
Oh,
So if you choose to do it afterwards, it only applies to your edge die. If you choose preemptively, as a big hope, rule of 6 applies to all of your dice. So it's a risk. It's a risk reward balance there. Second chance is what we did last time when I was sort of winging it and I was almost right. Well, actually, I was right. You re-roll all the missed dice, right? So anything that was missed in your roll. The one thing to note is it does not negate if you got a glitch, right?
Okay.
So if you rolled 6 dice and you got 3 1s and no successes, and it's like a hard glitch, you can still re-roll all those dice and get a big success and a hard glitch, right? Like all of the things. Okay? But if you spend edge, the thing you set out to do, and you roll enough successes, you'll get that. But whatever happened before you spent edge is still applied. Okay, seize the initiative is a little bit weird to think of, but it ends like after everyone rolls initiative and we know the initiative order, you could say, I'm spending an edge point to move to the top, right? And there's just like a separate initiative order for anyone who chooses to do that. You could all decide to seize the initiative. We move your initiative rolls to the top of the initiative order, and you would go in the same order there, right, for whatever you rolled.
Yeah.
And then normal initiative rolls go after that. A little complicated, but it makes sense in use. Regaining edge happens in a lot of different ways. By resting is the main thing. Like a long rest from D&D is the kind of main concept. Or if something really cool, like if you go off and do something super cool, you might award an edge for that, kind of like an inspiration die or things from other systems. There's kind of a long list of ways you can regain edge, so I'm not going to get into all of that right now. And you can't gain any edge if you're at full, right? So you can't go over your maximum points.
Got it.
The last thing you need to know is that you can permanently burn edge, right? So if you decide to take your attribute from 3 to 2, right, you can do that to automatically get 4 net successes before you roll on something. You can even do that for something that you don't have enough dice to get that many successes.
Okay.
But you can only do it for something that you have the skill trained, right?
Got it.
So if you don't have pistols, you can't do it for an awesome pistol shot, right? Or like auto mechanic. You can't suddenly fix a car unless you have the auto mechanic skill. And then there are only 2 ways to do this. One, get 4 net successes. Don't worry about the dice, like the end. And then not dead yet is like actually like you were dead, right? This is a good reason to keep 1 edge in the... Well, you'll always have that. So you can burn edge even if you've spent your edge point. Okay? So you all with 1 edge, you could spend an edge point on any of those like spending edge moves, and your attribute is still 1, and you could reduce it to 0, right? And permanently burn to save your life, right? And then you have to raise it back up. So, and it's your attribute is still ranged from 1 to 6, right? And if you reduce from 3 to 2, you could spend karma and bring it back up to 3.
Right.
It's not like it could only go up to 5. It's still like the same range, but it actually reduces the attribute, not just the points.
Got it.
So that was a lot. Don't worry about memorizing all that. I know it, and if you need to use edge, I'll either encourage you to do so or explain it again. So, you may want to. So that's edge. All right. So I want to do a quick flashback scene. And I would like to visit your management track.
Oh, yeah.
And I would like to recruit the rest of you for amusing nonsense. That you, Mac, already volunteered to play the NPC of the management trainer, right? As the trainee, right?
Nice.
So you're there with like a dozen other trainees. Mac will be playing the manager in charge of this. I think you were going to be an assistant.
Assistant manager.
Sure. All right.
Assistant to the regional manager.
Yes.
Candace, do you want to play an
Titles are
NPC on the management team or one of the trainees alongside Ashen?
Oh, I'll be a trainee with him.
Okay. Cool.
Cool.
So you can just think about whatever that character is. And also remember, Rise Corp is actively recruiting from Barrens citizens, right? That's a high percentage of orcs and trolls, high percentage of people who had very medium to low education, right? And low access to resources. And so most of pretty much everyone here would be in like Rise Corp clothes, right? Like that, it's just kind of got to wear that polo and the, all that. Or we can decide what the outfit is. But the training retreat was, we went out to Mount St. Helen, which is an active volcano in the Shadowrun universe. If you're familiar with Seattle in real life, it's a dormant volcano that people go hiking on and all sorts of things. It's a little bit more dangerous now. Like it's a thing that you should be aware of, and you know, as you're going out there, the management team is explaining like, it's okay, we've checked all the like volcano forecasts, and it's you know, perfectly safe.
It's not volcano weather today.
Right. And also, Jay, just so you know, joining the team at Rise Corp, they would have pretty quickly figured out that you're a physical adept, right?
Okay,
because they're going to want to screen for, well, yeah, maybe. They want to screen for magical applicants,
Got it.
all right? And the fact that you were magically active, they're like, oh, this is great. Can't cast spells, that's all right. We'll figure that out. And you probably would have wanted to let them think you've never trained your magical aptitude.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Okay.
I have what?
Yeah. They can definitely tell. Like, you can't hide it, really.
This is
like.
This
But
is shocking and
you
surprising.
can
news
pretend
to me.
not know how to use it.
I am
Yeah.
floored by this.
Yeah. So, of the like dozen trainees, you're the only one with magical aptitude, and in this process, everyone has started to looking to you as sort of the group leader,
All right.
like just automatically.
Automatically.
Yeah.
I mean, as they should. Befits my stature as an elf.
Yeah. Okay. The activities had a lot of, sort of trust fall, climb the wall sort of thing. And on the morning of the last day, where everyone's going to go back home, management wants to let everyone know what a good job they did. Do you want to bullshit some?
Well, once again, we are so glad that you were able to join us here at Rise Corp. Really, we are the future, and you are the future of Rise Corp. The volcano activity today has sort of sped up the end ceremonies that are going on because, volcano weather being what it is. But we want to make sure that you understand just how appreciated all of your skills are and just how much you will be a part of this wonderful machine.
And low rumbles outside the building. It's a sort of a lodge that you're at, where there's cabins and that sort of, so you're all in the main building, and you just hear low rumbles. You heard some earlier. It's probably nothing.
Yeah. Oh, don't concern yourselves with that. I'm sure we'll be out of here in plenty of time.
Oh, sure.
And if not, it'll be awfully spectacular. But we wouldn't want any of our future cogs, if I may, getting damaged, so we'll make sure to get you out of here in plenty of time. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, hi.
Yes,
Hi.
Ashen.
Yes, Ashen. I just want to, again, thank you all for this wonderful retreat. It's been really amazing learning everything about the Rise Corporation. What assignments should we be expecting and when?
That is a really good question.
Fair. So the at this point, there's been a fair amount of competition. Candace, what is your trainee character's name?
Reginald.
Okay, so you and Reginald, or ever Reggie, or just Reginald?
Always Reggie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you and Reggie have been kind of neck and neck in the competitions here. Not that they're competitions, of course, because we're all one team here.
Right.
Yeah, again, cogs.
Right. So, given the volcano forecast, we have at least until lunchtime, right?
Sure.
So we're going to spend this morning on one last paintball course.
Oh, great.
Right?
And it will be a barbecue lunch as provided by the heat rising off of the active volcano.
yeah.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it's like something that we've heard of that they used to call a lao, perhaps luau. I don't know.
Oh, yes, I've heard of.
So you and Reggie have been picked to lead the two paintball teams.
Great.
And head out into the forest. I mean, there's like a fenced area, but it's really big, right? It's like a couple acres, several acres worth of space that your teams can go out and sneak through the woods and deal with this. So let's do...
And the fences are definitely there for your protection and not in any way to restrict your access to other areas.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's good to know.
Well, and in fact, Rise Corp has, like, if you want to leave, you can, right? Like, that's at least what they've said so far.
So far. Is all of this area outside of the fences, all of this Rise Corp land?
No. They've rented this lodge,
rented this
right?
lodge.
This isn't
Okay.
even their lodge.
Got it.
They just rented it as a corporate retreat.
Got it.
Right? It's a very popular retreat location. It's almost never been overrun by lava. Basically never.
And, like, what's the sort of layout? Like, have we been staying here?
Yeah. You've been here
staying
for
here?
about a week.
All right.
Like 5 days, right? And there have been a lot of sort of back and forth exercises, and you and Reggie were the clear two who were able to get people to work together and cooperating and just sort of take those leadership rolls.
Great.
The times where you were both in the same group, it was like, oh, this group is unbalanced. Like, just utter destruction for the other group, right? The only way for it to make sense was for you two to be on separate teams for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
The groups are sent out for the paintball, right? It's 6 and 6 for the team. Let's have... You have a firearms skill, I think, right?
Yes, I do.
What is your firearms plus agility?
Hold on. So my agility is 5.
Oh my.
And my pistols, I've got pistols.
Oh, right.
Is 3.
Okay, so 8?
8.
Okay, so I'm going to have you roll 8 dice.
All right.
Reggie, the NPC, I'm going to have you roll 6 dice. All right, and this is just an opposed roll, and whoever gets the most hits is going to be on top.
And it's certainly team building, and not that you'll ever have to defend Rise Corp's assets
Right.
with violence.
We could scoop all those off of the. I did Sharpie 100 dice. That's in fact what you're
Do
dealing
they
with
make
there.
Shadowrun dice?
I don't know if they do, but those were like $7 for 100 dice. So I did that and Sharpied it myself.
So industrious.
Yeah.
Well, let's re-roll that one. The diagonal one. Yeah. Ooh, okay. Still not a glitch, though. So 2 hits and not a glitch. So
It's not a glitch.
all right.
It would be a glitch of what?
If there was one more one.
One more.
Because he's got 8 dice, so 4 ones would have been a glitch.
You got it.
Oh, okay. And I'm rolling 6?
Yeah. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Should I reroll that one?
Yeah. Okay, so if you're just listening, Reggie's team got 3 successes, and your team has 2.
Oh boy.
All right. So they've knocked out 3 of your team members. There are only
Got it.
3 of you left. They've knocked out 2 of your team members. You're at extreme disadvantage.
Right.
What are you doing to bring back the advantage for Ashen's team?
Well, see.
And you haven't been using your magic at all.
Right.
That's my assumption and
Right,
assertion.
no. I've not been using my magic. I'm still trying to go undercover. The thing is, I kind of wanted to do something else.
Okay.
I kind of wanted to break into the boss's cabin.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna dip.
I think what I'm going to tell my team is to, like, do a flanking maneuver around Reggie's group. And I'm going to, like, tell them that I'm going to be the decoy and go in the middle and draw fire so they can sneak up behind them. But...
So, one thing, they definitely have locators on you.
Okay.
So you're going to have to ditch that somehow or, like, hang it on somebody or...
Okay.
So, do you have the sleight of hand skill?
Let's see.
Or palming, I think is what it's called. I don't remember if we...
Palming?
We could also just do a stealth roll. It'd be under your skills.
Hold on. Got impersonation, performance, etiquette, leadership, negotiation, sneaking.
We will need that in a moment.
But no palming.
Okay. So, what I would have you do is roll agility, and since you don't have the associated skill, you'd roll agility -2.
Nah. All right.
However, you actually can't add edge because you don't have the skill.
Yeah. All right.
But let's give it a shot.
Sure.
So what have you got? 3 dice left?
Use these. Yep. So it's my agility is 5.
Yep. Okay. So, well, it's only 1-1, so it's still not a glitch.
Not a glitch.
It's just a miss. All right. So you were trying to hook this on one of your teammates without them noticing, and you ended up sort of just leaving it by a tree. And so you have the choice of, like, they'll probably just think I'm standing still. I could do that and dip, or I'll pick it back up again and get in this. So what do you want to do?
I'm gonna dip.
Okay.
Great.
Great.
Just leave it in the bushes. I'm just hanging out in the bushes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Seems safe.
Yeah. Right. There's no way this is gonna.
Reggie, can you roll 4 dice for me? I'm real invested in this Reggie character now.
It's great.
Hell yeah!
Oh yeah, Reggie is great. Yeah.
Okay, we'll come back to that in a moment. All right. So you get around to the manager's cabin. She got to stay there by herself. Obviously, like it's the sort of Lux cabin that you know.
Yeah.
And obviously, she's out in the like monitoring area,
Right.
So not in her cabin right now. Do you lock your cabin, manager?
Well, they are just trainees.
Yeah, they're not going to get in there, right?
Well, no, I don't trust the trainees.
Oh, I see. Okay, so let's do agility plus. Not really sneaking, but that's all right. Let's just do that.
So just straight agility?
Agility plus
Plus
sneaking.
so that's 9.
This does highlight how you need someone to help you open doors.
Yes. I usually have, friends for that.
Literally and metaphorically.
So 9. Okay.
Yeah, 2 hits. That's great.
Yep, 2 hits, no glitch.
Yeah, you pop the door open. Messy, organized.
Oh, spotless.
Okay. So you see the sort of couture, hard case luggage at the end of the bed. Everything's laid out, organized. What are you looking for?
Like a laptop, something where I can get access to corporate information, anything that could be important.
Yeah. The most of the devices would be like a peripheral that plugs into her comlink. Mm-hmm. So there may not be a direct thing, but let's do a search anyway.
All right.
So we're going to do intuition plus, I don't know what the relevant skill is off the top of my head.
There is a cross-stitch piece up, though. Says every cog in its place.
Excellent. Let's go, perception. Yeah. Intuition plus perception.
Intuition plus web perception, so that is 3 and 3. Is there a plus? Do I have a plus something there? But plus 1 for some reason next to perception. But
Oh, yeah, I think you have a specialization. Did you... Oh, it's when you have your...
oh, right, when I've got my
your
goggles.
glasses.
But
yeah.
I'm not wearing
You probably
those.
don't have those with you
I'm
right now.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything here that's useful. Killing hands, not...
No,
so
not yet.
All right, so cool.
Okay.
2 successes.
Yeah, you come across not the ability to communicate or hack in, but you do wind up with a log of all of her communications with head office in the last week. Right?
Oh yeah.
So it's too much to read right now, but you download it to a chip, pocket that, easy
Perfect.
peasy.
Great. Then I'm out and I'm going to get back to my tree.
Okay. As you rejoin the field, you realize the rest of your team has been taken out. Mm-hmm. You are the only one remaining. Reggie has 2 others with him still. Mm-hmm. Him?
Yes.
Yeah. And they are stalking through the woods, probably a little bit confused at this point, where is this guy?
Uh-huh.
And you could sort of see off in the distance, your 5 other team members just kind of whoa. and Reggie's 3 that got taken out early on. So you are stalking the woods.
Okay,
alone.
so now I'm gonna do the fighty.
Yeah.
With my magical adept. Let's see what's gonna be useful here. Improved reflexes.
Yeah, that would help.
To try to get up in behind them and take the 3 of them out.
Sure. So normally, improved reflexes apply specifically to initiative rolls, but we're kind of steamrolling this a little bit. So let's
Plus
do
sneaking.
Yeah. Let's do your agility plus sneaking, and let's just add 2 to it, noting that you're being super quick
Agility
right now.
Plus sneaking plus 2. Oh, I'm gonna need dice cup soon. Let's see.
Oh boy.
I'll reroll this one.
Okay. So 4 hits, looks like. With that 6 on the end. Wasn't that yours? This end?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's very, very good.
Yeah.
4 is a lot. Reggie, normally you would roll 4 dice for perception. You have 2 people helping you out, so you're going to roll 6 dice for perception. Okay.
That was close.
Reggie's
All right.
tough.
All right. So just to sort of move this along, you.
He's a big troll, by the way.
Oh, Reggie is? Okay, so.
Of course.
So, yeah, you sneak through the woods, like, just, taking people out from the shadows. You finally manage to get the jump on Reggie, take him out, and, yeah.
So close.
Yeah, the main thing I was trying to figure out is whether you're going back to Rise Corp as the sort of conquering hero, as lower on the totem pole, or as just escaping over the fence. like, oh, you don't work here anymore.
No. I want to maintain.
Okay, but yeah, you managed to come out on top on the competition, and you're sort of going back to where the meeting is, and it's sort of like the deck, right? Like the pine-wood deck where the manager is standing and all the other trainees, and you're walking back with Reggie because you were the last two, right?
Yeah.
Like you won. Reggie's like 4 feet taller than you.
Yeah.
Just walks by and like pats you on the back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, all right, good sport, Reggie.
Softer, Reggie. Softer.
And when you're heading back, there is a very local eruption.
Oh.
The ground bursts apart next to the deck. Like, you guys are walking up, you can see everybody at the deck, like, all right, bored clapping, right? And to the left of the deck is also where where the mountain would start to go up. You could go a little ways through the woods, and then the mountain goes up, right? Volcano. That a bit of that sort of like bubbles up, like the ground like cracks and bubbles up, and just blasts of heat come out of there. 2 of your trainees are incinerated.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Wow.
And people are diving for cover. Your manager, like, rolls to cover expertly. Gun comes out of nowhere. You didn't even know she had a gun.
Yeah.
But it becomes very clear that there's like lava elemental, and guns are going to be pretty pointless.
Oh, wow.
Paint guns doubly.
Yes.
So we make the escape. Everybody runs back.
Yeah.
We get in the trucks. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Unfortunately, the Lao is canceled.
Oh. I'm actually looking forward to the pork.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
So.
Bye, Smitty, another Smitty.
Yep. The as you all are making your exit, the lodge security is showing up. There's like a helicopter involved. There's a lot of stuff going on. Minor forest fires put out pretty quickly, and you all head back.
All
and
right.
we return on the same sort of weekend. Yeah, I guess you get weekends.
Yeah.
Because also everybody who's joining Rise Corp currently can choose to live at the building or where they were living before in the Barrens. You commuting.
Okay.
So you can choose to commute.
Yeah, I'm choosing to commute.
Yeah. All right. So we're all back. The kind of, let's say, Saturday morning, right? This is the morning after you all, ran over a bunch of gang members and went on an excursion. And you get back like late Friday night and just sort of don't see anybody. But yeah, Saturday morning, folks are gathering in the swap meet area. Things are kind of going on as normal. It's life at the Greenwood Collective.
Yeah.
What are the 4 of you up to?
I think we established before Gremlin sleeps in a lot.
Yep.
So probably still
Trying
sleeping.
to push that nocturnal life for yourself. Yep.
Echo is probably up trying to like learn to shape change because Jade started teaching her and she's like, I'm not getting it. Just bear. No. No. Let's try turtle. No. God damn it.
For those listening, we did one of our downtime rolls for Samantha's learning the spell. It didn't go very well this time. Partially that's because there's a big minus if your the teacher of the spell is a different tradition, and Jane Young is a shamanic, tribal magic user, and because she's actually like part of that Lashutsi, Pacific Salish, Coast Salish folks. And you are hermetic mage.
Yes.
Which is very different. You use sort of math and formula to do magic.
Yeah. I use math to make a bear. I don't know.
Right. So it'll click eventually, but it's going to take longer than usual
Yes.
to learn the spell. So, what are you up to, Bones?
I think I would be kind of doing diagnostics or trying to read whatever this program is that I just picked up and trying to figure out exactly what it is and what it does.
Okay.
Like trying to find out what the rating is on it. If that's possible.
Let's do logic plus computers.
That's not a matrix. That's just me. Okay.
Right.
So logic 5 and computer 5. Okay.
Ooh, 10? So if you want, you can, like, for every 4 dice, you can just say you get a success and not roll. So if you want, you could just say, I get 2 successes and not roll the dice.
That's a thing?
Yeah. For a thing where you have all the time in the world to, like, sit and sort of
figure it out?
futz with
Okay.
it.
Then yeah, I'll just do that.
Yeah, and 2
Take my
successes
time
is
to
fine for
succeed.
this. Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't realize you had 10 dice. Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another thing, I know we were going to go over that, but another thing I was reading about, do I need to, because if I do, I would like to also do this, is spend the time to take ownership of this program, which is
Well,
probably some kind of illegal activity.
so here's the weird thing about it, is as you're sort of researching this program, it, like, volunteered the like, ownership aspect, right? When it said, like,
Okay.
can I go with you, please?
Yeah.
Which is already strange behavior for an agent,
Yeah.
right? Agents sit there and pretty much mindlessly do one thing,
Yeah,
right?
and do what they're told.
Yes. Yeah. And this agent was definitely not told to leave that mesh network and go with you. No one would have done that. You know that it's kind of its DNA is that it arrived out of this advanced search algorithm that at least one of those mesh network nerds, let's call them the mesh gang, they had cobbled together a lot of different, like, data processing and search programs and all that kind of thing, and they so in your research, they accidentally created an agent, right? And part of that is due to some pretty decent coding that went into it, but also the fact that they had this weird kind of mesh between all their comm links and combined all that stuff. It was, almost as powerful as a cyber deck, and they had something that they didn't fully realize what they had, so it hadn't been given orders.
Okay.
It was just bored and didn't want to hang out with them.
They didn't even realize they created a program?
Right. They thought they just had like a browser, like a search window, right? No, that's not what they had. And we know that it took the form of a spider before because it was living on that mesh, and it also is like turned into a backpack when you were like, yeah, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
And if it's live in memory, like if it's one of your running programs, then it will be that sort of backpack that you can also send off as a spider to sort of act autonomously.
That's its persona.
Yes. And as far as you can tell, it's rating 2.
Okay.
Because that's what your cyber deck can run.
That's fair.
If you knew somebody with some advanced like computer tech, you might be able to like offload it onto a bigger computer and analyze it a little bit better. And you do in fact know somebody with some bigger computer tech.
Yeah. I might have to go talk to Rooster.
Okay. So that's still like.
Is it like I think it's rating 2 because that's as far as I can read it?
Yeah,
Or-
I think it's reasonable for you to be suspicious that the rating is higher than that.
Okay.
Because you're like running it through the paces and it just easily does everything you ask it to do. And in fact, seems like it's being held back a little bit. But it's hard to tell.
So, yeah, that'll be my next move if I have time.
All right. What are you up to? You had a weird week.
I had a weird week, but I've got this communication log.
Yep.
I was actually going to bring it to Bones to help me sort of crack into it and unspool it and find out what my manager has been talking about.
I think that's perfect as, Bones is coming out to go find the rooster. You're going to see Bones.
Yeah.
You run into each other.
Exactly.
Let's have that scene.
Hey, Bones.
Hey, you're back.
Yeah. Management
You
training.
missed a crazy ride.
What happened?
I'm going to tell him all about it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we can fast forward through that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, but sorry, where were we?
It was just management training for the Rise Corporation. It was super boring. Oh my god, except there was a volcano. Mount St. Helens.
Cool.
The lava elemental. It got a little hairy at the end, but other than that, everything's fine. But
Alright.
I did score this.
Yeah, so tiny little, it's like, the size of your thumbnail,
Yeah. The chip
Yeah.
type of thing.
Yeah.
Alright.
And that's a record of the manager's communication for the last couple of weeks.
Interesting.
And I thought it might be of interest and note to interested parties.
Absolutely.
And if
So-
what you're telling me is, if everything you're saying about Rooster is true, Rooster might be also an interested party.
Quick, just note about you telling Ashen the story, Bones. Did you at all sort of embellish or make your part of the story more impressive? Because Ashen wouldn't know. And
Yeah?
I'm just curious what Bones' personality is like, right? Like, is that something she would do?
I think she was pretty. I think she'd give a good description of everything that happened, but she'd really go on and on about this new backpack.
Oh,
that she
yeah.
had. She'd be
Okay.
like, oh yeah, she was driving super crazy, and oh yeah, there's some weird, witchy stuff that Echo's always doing. I
Yeah.
don't know, super weird. But put your A on it. Look at this. Look what I got.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas, I was like, I was the king. Everyone loved me. It was all just wonderful.
Your story was definitely weighted.
Yes.
Exaggerated.
Yeah.
It was amazing, and I'm like, got the inside track there at Rise.
That's insane.
It's crazy.
Good for you.
Yeah, right?
What does Bones' apartment look like? I forget. Does she have her own place, or is she living with a dependent?
Well, she lives with Blue.
Right.
I think it's pretty messy. Because there's two young people trying to take care of a place.
And they're doing a great job.
Yeah, it's just kind of a mess.
Okay. So do you just have Ashen come in and sit down to go over the file, or or do you want to take it downstairs?
I'd probably just take him to Rooster and just
Okay.
be like, let's check this out. But I was kind of like doing something with this backpack thing, but I'll totally do it maybe on the way, or maybe Rooster could do it.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea.
Can I actually? Is it like a thing that I can plug into my deck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And your deck, you have like a shoulder. You can plug it in while you're walking around. Like the
Okay.
deck has power.
I'm gonna plug it into my deck, and knowing this is like an agent, and be like, "Can you download this for me?" And like tell my spider backpack
Uh-huh.
to like handle it.
Yeah.
Kind of deal.
Should I start unencrypting it?
Oh yeah, for sure. Check it if it has any like protection thing on it first, and
Okay. So what is your deck's stats for
Should I send some
unencrypting
message?
something?
So is that?
It's I think there's a
Crack file?
program.
Oh, encrypting.
Yeah, or decrypting, re-unencrypting.
Where's that? That's right. Oh, it's a program. Yeah.
Yeah.
Decryption. The code cutting algorithms in this program give you a.
So it's
Oh,
a
that's a if I put the program on.
yeah, and
So I'm
that's
gonna
so load up
take
your
off my
decryption program. Yeah.
It gives me a +1 bonus to your attack attribute.
Okay. So how are your attributes allocated right now?
I mean, if I have time, I can like.
Yeah, just reset it. Yeah,
So
easy.
I'll
That's
just
a
make
simple
that
action.
one a 5,
Okay.
and then I'll add 1.
Yep. So let's roll. Oh, so 6 plus 2 for your agent, which is definitely rating 2.
Mm-hmm.
So 8.
6, 8. And then
And this is one where you can't just do the take 4 thing because it's the agent rolling it, not a hero, right?
This is not anything to do with matrix actions, or it is?
It sort of is, but it's just happening in your deck node, like in your host, your like personal host.
Does
So
this have anything to do with
edit file or cracking a file?
Yes, you're cracking a file.
I was going to pick the one that I used first to go with. And wait, does this have anything to do with analytical mind? I'm just trying to figure out when those things come.
Yeah, not this time because you're not the one personally taking it apart.
Oh, okay.
Right? So that's when, if you sat down to do it yourself, you would get that bonus. But
if I was doing that, that would include this?
yes.
Okay.
But your agent's doing the work for you while you're walking around doing other stuff, which is its benefit. So, yeah, let's roll the 8.
That's 2 successes.
Yep. Okay, so 2 successes. It is whirring away, getting stuff done while you're walking around, so we'll revisit that eventually. You head down, you find Rooster haggling over, you know, in Fallout where they have like the back half of a pickup truck as part of a cart, right? So they have one of those, but it's just a troll carrying like a rickshaw, you know, like it's got the 2 handles and moving this like trunk of the bed of a truck, and it's like half full of oranges, right? Like oranges, lemons, limes, a whole bunch of citrus. And so Rooster and this other troll who you've never seen before, which, you know, that happens, are haggling over, like Rooster just wants to buy all of it, right? So he's trying to get a price for that, and they're going back and forth. Yeah, you 2 find that.
I'm just like, I'm like a puppy.
Oh,
with
okay.
Rooster.
Just immediately
I'm like,
interrupting.
Rooster, Rooster, guess what I did? Rooster, let me tell you about the thing I did. Rooster, come on.
Roll intuition plus
it.
perception for me.
Intuition plus perception. 3 plus 3 is 6.
And situationally, I'm going to have you add 2 more because of something you don't know about.
All right. 2 more.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Is that 5 hits?
That is 5 hits.
Okay. So you go up to talk to him, and you can smell the fruit, and then you smell like, what? And you realize you've like your supernatural senses started to take over a little bit, and you know, like, none of the fruit is obviously rotten, but there's something wrong with it.
Oh. Shit. Well, then I'm definitely trying to get Rooster's attention, but much more subtly now. Much more like, Rooster can...
Well, yeah, I need to just... We're almost done here.
I just like 2 seconds... Just 2 seconds of your time.
Okay, so hold on, and the other troll's like, oh, whatever.
Yeah. And I just lean over to him like, there's something wrong with all of that fruit.
Why?
Don't ask, I just got a sense.
I need more to go on than your gut.
Ears.
Sorry, I wasn't even doing my Rooster voice.
Ears, magic, elf. I'm telling you, there's something rotten about all of that.
Notice if that looks like the same fruit we saw at Rise Corp outside, like on the apple trees? That she noticed.
Why don't you do
like, don't eat the fruit?
logic plus perception? Trying to pull up that memory. Because mostly you thought of those as like apple trees, but maybe there were other kinds of things there.
There were magic trees.
Oh god, so many dice.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, so the skins of these citrus fruits they have like some kind of matching pattern that your sort of AR system is like, hey, this matches like the way the leaves were moving in those apple trees, which doesn't make any sense, right? But yeah, you're definitely noticing some sort of relationship between all the citrus fruit and the trees that you saw.
Rooster, those look like the same that Echo said don't touch those at Rise Corp.
Where did you get these? And the troll's like, they're just for sale. Like, I just brought these in. They go back and forth a little bit, and Rooster just sends the guy packing. Like, we're not going to deal with you. Don't come back until next week. Because you guys have these markets fairly often. But this guy's grounded for a week. Like he's not allowed back in for a while.
Good call.
And he takes his fruit and goes, okay, I'm glad you brought that up. What did you need from me?
Wow. It's funny that you should bring up Rise Corporation. And this may actually even tie into all of that. So I joined their management consultancy, as you know. And while I was there, the opportunity arose. They were a little lax in their security. And I got some intel on what the management has been talking about.
Can you think about what that manager's name was?
Layla.
Oh, well, that was easy. Layla what?
Layla Gold.
All right.
So we've got a bunch of her communications, and I thought that it might be of interest to learn what they're doing, and, maybe there's some stuff interested parties could take advantage of.
That is exactly what I'm interested in.
Yeah. You can see why we came immediately to you.
All right. And he, looks over his shoulder, and you actually see him flinch a little bit, because Jane is, 10 feet away talking to someone else.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh. And he just watches her for a second, okay, she's not paying attention to us. He doesn't say that, but he's very, he's not subtle. He's a monster. And he's afraid of her.
Yeah.
Right? Not afraid for his life, but yeah, you get it. So he figures out how to sort of edge away from that, and starts heading down. Says, "Why don't you message the twins? They're gonna probably want to see this."
Okay. I could do it on my comm link.
Yeah,
to the
easy.
phone.
Yeah, without even
I'm gonna send it in the
blinking.
group chat.
A gif of the Batcave.
Yeah, it's just the emoji of a rooster.
Perfect.
Okay.
Echo sends back. Be right back. Trying to turn into a bat.
Question mark.
Form of bat.
Never mind.
No. Damn it.
Gremlin will get up and
Okay. Group text wakes you up.
yeah,
Okay.
just kind of out of it, and goes to find Echo first.
Yeah. She's probably practicing in the apartment.
Oh, okay.
That's not safe.
So she's not far.
Well, they think it's haunted anyway.
Yeah.
Let's do a quick drain roll.
Oh, okay.
You're up against 2 drain. You almost can't not miss
The dice
it.
will hear you.
There's no possible way you could miss this roll because you're very good at resisting drain.
Oh, no. Why did you have to say that?
But the effort of doing this is it's exhausting, and you're, okay, see?
See, look
Nothing
at
went
that.
wrong.
Okay. I definitely am good at magic and shouldn't ever worry.
Yep.
That's what I learned on that trip.
Yeah, you've been nothing but rewarded for your decisions.
Yeah.
So.
Do more magic. Got it.
Yeah.
Great.
This
Yay.
game's full of rewards for us.
Hooray.
Is there a critical success thing in this system?
Yeah, if you
have to get
clear
them
it
all
by
cleared?
4,
Oh, okay.
yeah. But that includes the hits you needed to succeed, right? So if you needed 2 and you get 6, then it's
Oh, okay. So you'll
huge.
know it.
Yeah.
Super success.
Yeah. And in this case, resisting damage, you don't really crit on. It's just hopefully you resist all the damage.
Yeah.
That's its own reward, really. Okay, so we'll have a little bit of there's a minute where the 3 of you are down there with Rooster, and you're finishing up this decryption thing while you're finishing up being a bat or trying to be a bat.
bat.
Obviously, have been telling him about my backpack since my backpack's the one
Right.
doing the description right now.
Right. You're telling who? Him?
No, Rooster.
Rooster, okay.
I mean, he saw it when I got it, but I'm just gonna see look, it's an agent. It's doing things. Help me figure out what else it can do.
Did you? You wrote an agent?
What?
What? Where did? You wrote an agent? That's incredible.
I found
I'm
it.
so What?
I found it on the. I didn't tell you. Oh. Yeah, this is my new agent.
Yeah, I mean he has his own
Yeah.
glasses,
Yeah,
AR
that's why I'm
glasses and
showing
stuff.
it to
Yeah,
him.
yeah. Where did this come from? Where did this come from? Sorry, I'm terrible
I
at
know I
voices.
don't have a Bones voice either.
Yeah,
so it's me.
I'm just bad at voices in
Me
general.
With tusks,
Yeah.
I guess. It just wanted to come along.
Agents don't want things. They just work.
I don't know. I've never had an agent, but this one asked me to take it.
He looks from Ashen to Gremlin, like,
I swear this time it's not like it wanted me to steal it. That's not what I'm saying this time. I know
Although I
that's
would have supported
usually-
that.
Yeah.
And usually that's
It
probably
did. It
what
totally
I
did.
would have meant. But this time I totally am being honest. Like,
because
it
we had a
asked
conversation about those accounts.
me. Yeah, this is different. I swear. I mean, ask it.
I think this is a good time for you to come downstairs. And Rooster just turns to you and just like immediately says, "Where did the agent come from?"
I didn't do it. What agent? What? Oh, your backpack. It's a spider.
Yeah, it's an agent.
I was trying to turn it into a spider yesterday. Didn't work.
Rooster's face is like, 'cause he's so uncomfortable around magic. Yeah, it's just, it's a lot for him.
And then she like looks at him for a second blank and her eyes get real big. What if I try to turn it into a spider bat?
Ooh, can you do hybrids?
Not a thing.
I bet I could.
Never mind. Have you checked it for virus? He doesn't, like, that's not a thing, right? Like, that's, you don't get viruses that way. Like, that, he doesn't understand what he's asking. And he didn't say, did you check it for a virus?
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, no, it's fine, Rooster. Can I use some of your equipment really quick?
I want you to roll charisma
Okay.
plus, do you have etiquette?
Yeah, I have matrix etiquette.
Mm.
So no. not like people etiquette.
Yeah.
So,
I go talk to him in VR, maybe.
Okay, but I'm not going to give you the -2 because this is Greenwood family,
Okay.
right? So we'll just roll your charisma.
Okay. That's not very high.
Well,
1.
okay.
And
Only 1 out of 3 is not half.
good.
So,
Yay!
I didn't fail this.
nope. Yeah, that's fine. He ultimately comes around anyway,
Okay.
but it's yes. So he sets you up with his computer, which is troll-sized,
Yeah.
right? Like this is huge keyboard.
Is it a little bit bigger than me, or he's like way bigger than me? I mean, I'm not huge.
So trolls are like minimum 3 meters tall, which is about 9.5 to 10 feet.
So he's way bigger than
He's enormous.
Okay.
Yeah. And he is not that. He's like 12 feet tall plus his horns. He's just an enormous, huge like he's a giant, right? And he's built for that size. He's not like a skinny guy.
me. Jumping in his chair is like, wee!
Yeah, it's like a couch. Like
And nothing's usually like that for me, I'm sure, so I'm like,
Right.
ooh.
right, because you're medium sized
Yeah,
as an
I'm
orc,
medium,
right?
yeah.
So
Maybe like a larger human.
yeah.
Yeah.
So fortunately, you don't have to use his physical peripherals. You could just like plug your cyber deck in, and he gives you access, and you're
You
like,
can like roll
oh,
back
cool.
and forth on the chair.
Yeah.
This-
So you're able to, unpack this file that your agent decrypted, and there's a log of all the communications for the last 7 days. That you can also tell based on the tags in the file, the log was copied, not stolen, and so it shouldn't have left a mark that it was copied.
Yeah, because it's owned by him now. I read that.
Yeah. So hopefully there's no indication that log was copied. And even if there was, somebody would have to go looking specifically for that.
Yeah.
So why would anyone look for that? Nothing was missing. He's a trusted member of their community.
trusted.
Yeah.
Right.
Excellent paintballer.
Key member of the Rise
Yeah.
management track.
Yeah.
I want you all
King
to
of
know
the-
that. So
King of the
Yeah.
pool.
that's right.
Paintball.
Yeah,
Paintball.
paintball. Yeah, I've been just regaling them with tales of my awesome exploits.
Paintball king is what you said.
How much I fooled everyone, and yet was also still really cool and baller the whole time.
What does Ashen look like? I don't have a clear idea.
Super skinny.
Yeah.
I think we said super skinny, super tall, going
Yeah.
for that full high elf
Yeah.
look, long hair.
You had, like
Real
long
slender.
white hair, right?
Yeah,
Silver.
silver.
Oh yeah, silver hair.
Silver hair, completely naturally silver. Yes.
Yeah, and pointy ears.
Yeah, and the pointy ears. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, your boobs showing.
Any like?
No, you would never.
Well, remember you did the cosmetic surgery.
Yeah.
It grows silver.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Any like beard situation?
No.
Okay.
Very,
All right.
very Legolas. Very clean.
Okay. Cool. Okay, that's
And
great.
I will just check my backpack rating on
Yes.
his computer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a rating 4, and
Cool.
it just like barely fits in your cyber deck. But you also can just tell like, oh, a bunch of it just like packed itself up and is asleep, right?
Oh, okay.
So it's like half awake, and that's fine. It's doing what it can do.
And I'm just like the whole time like, is this thing going to be a problem? Because it didn't listen to its other people. And like, because I don't know. I'm just kind of like, is it going to do what I thought it to do? Well, how do agents work? This is my first agent.
Yep.
I hope it's not a brat.
Do you want to check for like marks or ownership?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll do that
any of
just
that?
To, like, be sure, so I
Okay.
know.
At this point, you don't have to roll for that on like all this equipment. You would have like plus 40 or roll. Like this
Okay.
is like Rooster definitely
like,
doesn't know how to
yeah.
use all of this,
Okay.
right? Like there's no way he knows
Like,
how to use this
ooh,
rig. Yeah.
fun.
And Ashton, this is the first time you've been down to the basement.
Oh yeah.
right?
So I'm
to
like,
see
this
all
is
of this,
all
like,
amazing.
Yeah,
yeah,
I probably would have been like, check this out.
Yep.
Yeah.
When I was taking
Yes.
him.
yeah.
Yep. So I'm wavering between how cool am I, everybody, how cool am I, and Nick Frost in Hot Fuzz
Yes.
asking Rooster, so how did you use that one? Did you kill someone with that one?
Yeah.
What did you do for that one? How many,
Did
how many
you
people-
jump through the air while
Yeah,
firing
yeah,
2 guns?
yeah.
Going,
So he also has like a simple gun range, right, where it will put up AR targets that you can shoot with a real gun and
cool.
get used to like firing a weapon. And down here, no one can hear guns go
yeah.
off, so it's so yeah.
yeah,
but,
Gremlin's definitely like eyeing the
yeah,
shooting range.
yeah. Both of you have the opportunity to do that.
Oh,
And he also has a whole case of like gel rounds, which are I don't think it's immediately obvious why he has that. It's just like when I say case, I mean like shipping crates, right, of thousands and thousands of rounds of gel rounds, which are basically like plastic bullets that the like the future version of like rubber bullets,
Got it.
right? Where it's a gel that hits and conveys all that kinetic, but almost would never. It'd be almost impossible to kill someone with it, right? So it's actually sufficient riot control. Yeah, so it would be extremely unlikely to kill someone.
Got it.
So it's not clear why he has like 100,000 rounds of gel rounds here, but
I think Gremlin's not going to question that at all,
Yep,
and
nope.
it's just like super stoked still that Rooster turned out to actually be like what she was suspecting.
yeah. I mean, he does such a good job of hiding it, though.
Right? But like actually having it confirmed, and not only
Yeah.
confirmed, but he's got all of this.
Yeah.
It's really exciting for her.
Yeah. So while she's doing the final decryption on that, he actually is taking the two of you over to the workbench. I mean, you can come too if you want. I don't know where you're going to end up. But he wants to do a specific training on like stripping and cleaning a weapon
Oh, yeah.
that he's never shown you before because he was just a groundskeeper.
Yeah.
Right? But he has some points that he's like, look, these are things you need to know about maintaining a weapon in the field. Like, you're pretty good with that pistol. You've got all those guns. Like, I know the guns that you have, okay?
Yeah, I've been working at that collection for a while. I'm pretty damn proud of it.
Okay. But it's not hidden very well.
Who said I was trying to hide it?
Oh, well, that's good. 'Cause, anyway, here's, and so he like sets up the whole work table, which most of the tools are too big for you, but he's the yeah, the principles carry over, right? So you're doing that. Where is Echo during that?
She's probably like quietly bothering Bones while she's trying to do her work.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, you're trying to figure out spider stuff."
Yeah.
Taking spiders out of her pocket and like finding nice corners for them. What's your spider friend's name? This one's called Harriet.
I just went to spider bag.
And it's like, what? Yeah.
I mean, you've already rehomed so many of them in our apartment.
I know, there's too many for our apartment 13. I'm gonna spread the wealth around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep making more spiders.
The weird thing is, you have those like several in your pockets. This morning, all of the spiders were gone.
Weird.
Yeah. Like before you started practicing.
Huh.
The spiders in our apartment.
Yeah.
I'll have to put some more in there.
Yeah. They're inspiration.
Exactly. You don't want to get bugs. They make nice webs.
These are just like spiders you've collected from nature, kind of deal. Cool.
She just picks
Not
them up and puts it in her
creepy.
pocket.
Just so you know, there's some like Shadowrun background. I'm gonna have to like sprinkle these in all over the place, just a little bit of lore. Insect shamans are bug shit crazy. Right? The worst ones are anything related to a hive mind insect, right? Bees, ants, any of that kind of thing are like just monsters, right? They're not like sensible people. The entire city of Chicago got walled in because it was taken over by ant spirits.
Oh.
Right? And that was like a whole part of the like lore of the background, which is something everyone knows about, right? It was and then eventually several like paramilitary Shadowrun teams were brought in to like clean out the city, and they did, right? So Chicago's in recovery. The thing that has like come out on different magic message boards and stuff, arachnid shamans are like a little crazy, but not evil.
Oh.
Right?
That sounds about right.
Where like,
Semi-benevolent,
Like-
if you will.
On brand.
the insects are just so alien to how we think, but arachnids eat insects,
Yeah.
right? And that is like relatively close to what humans want to have happen, and so they're a little like different. Most.
Were you trying to say Echo's weird?
No, I'm just saying, spider shaman, scorpion shaman. What's the other arachnid? There's like a third one, isn't there?
Scorpions, spiders, crabs?
Are they arachnid? No, they're
Crustaceans.
crustaceans. Well, whatever it is, they are like predatory and aggressive and hunters, right? But they mostly hunt bug shamans because
Oh,
that's
okay.
a good sort of balance in the world to have.
Seems
and
reasonable.
that was what like finally tipped Chicago, was like these spider shaman came in and did that. And then alternately like a hornet shaman, they're not really a hive, right? Like that's not a good example. Like a grasshopper, right?
Okay.
Grasshopper shaman, it would be like crazy, but they're not predators, right? They want weird things out of life, but they're not like scary monster people.
Honestly, same.
They want to pebbles from people's hands.
Right. Okay, so you have broken apart and analyzed this data. It is there's a lot of communication back and forth, reporting on the trainees, and it actually reinforces a lot of what he was saying about his time there, right? Like he was high scoring, and they're like there's like the log. You're able to like translate some video footage, right? It was you turn it into video of like a bunch of them like working out, running around together, and like wow.
I think Bones was like, oh, he actually was telling the truth. I think most of the time she's always like, yeah, that's cool, and like knows he's kind of like
that's all right.
exaggerating.
Yeah.
Like, I think she like accepts that he's like an elf, but she knows like, oh, buddy.
Yeah.
But she'll be like, yeah, for sure, you're totally an elf, like really supportive.
Like,
friend.
why disagree?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, why?
Yeah.
Well, she's not like gonna be a jerk about
Yeah.
it. But she knows like he kind of stretches the truth. So I think finding out, she's like, "Oh, good for you," and then maybe gives him more of a congratulations now. He's like,
Yeah, they're like over there. You're like, hey, you did it.
He's like, okay.
Okay. Anything specific you're looking for in the logs?
No, I think it was more he wanted to look through it, yeah? Or we're both kind of...
Yeah, just looking for, like, anything about what they're doing here, anything that looks or sounds suspicious.
Oh, yeah, maybe, like, what Rooster was telling us. Like, he wanted to know what was, like, really up with these people. Like, if they're actually... I don't know, some underlying motives that they're not saying.
Yeah, so the logs definitely exhibit what has to be veiled language, right? They're not speaking in code, but they're talking about somebody being an excellent candidate for the 1A track and, whatever that means. So, like, Ashen and Reggie and a couple other people at the retreat have been put in the 1A track, and that's going to mean something to someone. It's not elaborated on.
Is something I could, like, figure out?
If you hacked into their host.
Hack into their host.
You'd have to go into the, like, Rise node to, like, figure out the context of what these messages mean. And figure out, like, what is the 1A track. Like, you're going to have to find the file on that. Because it means something to someone, but it's not the actual, like, description of it. She's just referring to things that you don't 100% know what she's talking about.
Would I have time to do that right now? Or are we doing things?
Well, there's a couple things. It would be time consuming. It would be 100 times easier to do it from inside the building because they have mega corporate host security from outside. Going inside with a combination of the credentials that you've created for yourself and having direct access to the hardware would bypass a ton of the host security. And
she's gonna make a note of things that she's found on this. Well, she could also like take a copy or whatever.
That's easy.
Right?
I
probably ask him, since it's his file, just ask him to invite me to put a mark on it, or ask him if I could just have a copy and make my own copy.
Yeah, make your own copy. Yeah, have a copy.
Just do that, and we'll both have a copy of it.
Okay.
And so you're saying, but if we want to find out more, you need to get inside the building.
Yeah, so maybe we want to go back to work.
Yeah, when we go back to work.
With our copies.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let them find your
No. Obvi.
Can we destroy Rise yet?
Yeah, let's take them
We're
down.
one step closer, but are they bad?
Of course they're bad. They're corporations.
I mean, I have corporation stuff.
What kind of not evil corporation would have those weird trees?
They did have all that evil fruit.
Evil fruit.
I mean, maybe it's like protection fruit. We don't really know. I thought that's what we were
This is like
researching.
biblically bad levels of fruit.
Yeah,
makes
they're sending out
protection
plagues
fruit?
in the form of fruit. That can't be good.
We still don't really know what it does.
It's
Nothing
a corporation.
But they want to, like, save the Barrens.
Yeah. For what purpose?
Yeah, how much
Save
saving
the
do we really
Barrens.
need?
We could use better grid. That's all I'm saying. I really like the faster access I'm getting over there. That is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Look, we can just try to take them for everything they're worth, and then we'll burn them down.
I am having
But
more
we'll
money
just-
for food and stuff.
We'll just get a bunch of their resources. It'll be fine. We'll just play it out.
Yeah, we'll just see.
They
Maybe they are good.
they are also in a slightly vulnerable position of no longer being part of Evo, right? Like Evo, they're a mega corporation on a technicality. They would probably really be considered like AA instead of the full AAA megacorp.
Right.
But the corporate courts have recognized them as a AAA megacorp for everything that's worth. So while we're having this conversation, I don't know
Question.
how. Yep.
I have a home ground thing. Can I make my home ground roosters
Yeah.
area? But, well, it has to be a digital turf, but can it be like...
Well, I mean, he has a host, right? Like that's why you're getting these
Yeah.
big fast
so
speeds.
can that
And
be like my digital turf is the his host.
Yeah.
That's what it is, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's what I thought. I'm gonna put Rooster's
Yeah.
host.
So I imagine, do all of you have alerts for Rise Corp news?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. So there's a breaking news story coming out that all 187 news outlets are covering. It's also like some of them are sponsored coverage, but they only do sponsored coverage anyway, so whatever. But the full broadband of news outlets are covering this, what do you call it? The press conference, right? And it is the, I'm going to let Jay name this, the president of Rise Corp. Is a gender non-binary person who wears fancy suits, has relatively short hair. Actually, hair a little bit more like Mac's real life hair is that, but probably not as luxurious, obviously. But that kind of that like medium length of that can wear it a lot of different ways, and they are the president of this megacorp, and by all reports, they've said like I'm going to live in the Barrens. Like, I'm going to live here and show that we mean it, right? That we're here to live here. And, of course, they have, they're starting to open up offices in other places because they want to have that presence. But they're claiming that this is going to be their actual headquarters.
All right.
Of evil.
Not necessarily evil.
So, Jay, what is their name?
Alden Varma.
Alden, how do you spell Varma?
Varma.
Oh, great.
That totally sounds like a villain.
Alden Varma.
Alden Varma. It's just a name.
So the CEO insists that reporters refer to them as Alden, not like M. Varma or anything like that. Just has this like ridiculously folksy air about them.
Yeah.
Of like they're in a suit, but it's like the top button's undone. They're like a kind of a Clooney style, right? They're like 50-something, slightly gray hair, but it's all perfectly evenly gray, the same gray. So it's like definitely an affectation.
Yeah. a little Elon Musky.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Ugh. Too much musk.
All of that is true. But all that comes out, there's also the vice president of the company is there. There's like all of the executives, the CFO, all that stuff. Bones, your boss, the CTO, the technology officer is there. Not that you've ever met them, but like.
Yeah. I know that's the person.
Right. And there's also like an armed security guard who's with them, right?
Of course.
And
it's a dangerous world.
Once they have the floor and everything's rolling, Alden holds up a syringe that is about the size of this pen, right? I'm holding like a standard ballpoint pen. If you're just listening, it's like a ballpoint pen with the clicky back, right? And it has that sort of like clicky thing on it, right? And he holds it up and says, "This is what Rise is going to bring to the table, and why we can make the Barrens a better place. And we're here for you." I can't think of a better way to explain this than to just demonstrate it. And while they're talking, Alden has like taken off their jacket, taken off their like unbuttoned their shirt, and they have like a like tank top undershirt on, and they like remove their dress shirt, kind of stand opposite, and the security guard brings their sidearm up and shoots Alden in the shoulder on live coverage.
Wow.
Yes.
And Alden falls over. That looks very painful, and gets up and is like, "Oh, okay. So, for the demonstration, this should be very effective." And like, you can see a bunch of channels are like blurring it out a little bit, but just as many channels are like, "Yeah, look at this gore, woo!" Like that's what they thrive on. And you can see, like, this wound is, like, nasty, and it's right. Like, it took a bullet to the shoulder at point-blank range, right, on live coverage.
Not good.
This is the president of Rise Corp?
Yeah.
And the person that shot him was...
Their security guard.
The security guard.
They're like, head of security, right? And Alden, like, directly told him to shoot them in the shoulder, right? So they take the shot, they stumble, get back up, they hold up the device, and jam it into their arm under the shoulder wound, you know, like just into the side of their arm, like the way you would do a vaccine or something like that. Hits that, and within 30 seconds, we watch the wound start to close up. There has never been anything like a video game stim pack in Shadowrun lore. This is the first time that something viable like this looks real.
Wow.
Right? And they're running all of those, like, you know, authenticated video. There's no CG special effects. Like, all of the news channels are authenticating the video, which is basically impossible. If it's, like, it's impossible to fake that.
Is it pushing the bullet back out?
Yeah. It heals, and, like, Alden is able to, like, catch the bullet as it comes out and, like, stretches, moves their shoulder, holds the bullet up for everyone. You can see where it sort of, like, nicked the bone in their arm. It's, you know, the bullet is, like, basically flattened. It is a fairly small caliber. Like, it wasn't just shot with a hand cannon.
Yeah.
But, and holds the bullet up, holds the empty, delivery device, and says, Rise stems are going to be available later this year. We're in production now, trying to make as many as we can because we know people need this. And Rise Corp is here for you. We already have a contract with Crash Cart Systems. And so, out of character, there's a whole, like, Dock Wagon corporation, which is military ambulance contracts, right? Like, they will come to you when you hit your I've fallen and I can't get up button. They will fly into a combat zone and like pick you up and take you out to the hospital, right? And they will, like, shoot their way in and then out, right, to pick up their clients. Crash Cart is the main competitor to them, and if Crash Cart gets an exclusive access to whatever this thing is and it's legit, Crash Cart will demolish Dock Wagon. Like, that's they've been number 2 for decades. There's no question that Crash Cart accounts would soar, right? Like, so, yeah. The short version is Alden is saying they've developed this, you know, stim technology that is like quick heal. They also make this, like, sort of like sickening, not bashful. What's the right word? Like downplaying it a little bit.
Sheepish?
Yeah, not sheepish. They're trying to be modest, right? It's false modesty of, like, certainly it can't cure every ailment, it can't heal every wound, but this could be the difference between life and death. And, you know, just on and on for another sort of 15 minutes or so, and then the feed cuts and it goes to all 187 commentators, you know, just on all the channels. Like, everyone's just going nuts. Message boards are exploding. The news is out that Rise Corp is delivering instantaneous heal pens.
We should steal a lot of those.
Yeah, if it's not bullshit.
Worried about what you're actually getting injected with.
Right?
I mean, did you see that though? That's like
They
amazing.
could put anything in there. They could put a tracking device, mind control. What is the fine print? Do they own you for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
I don't trust it.
And you have to get this other protection to be able to even have access to it. So
Right. And
why not make it free for everybody?
How much is that going to cost? Yeah.
Right. Well, we could steal it. Again, back to the original plan. We could steal it and then do whatever we want with it.
Dissect it.
Dissect it.
Definitely
Give it
dissect
away.
it.
Yeah,
see
if
what's
we get
in it.
one of them and analyze it.
We could steal more than one of them. Let's steal a bunch. It's going to be pretty valuable, no matter what.
As you're having this conversation, you can tell Rooster is in a phone call, because his AR thing is like, I'm in a phone call, please don't bother me right now. You know, like there's a little symbol that you can tell when someone's talking on the phone. He doesn't have to make noise to talk on the phone, but he's just, mouthing the words to whatever conversation. He's sort of like walking over on the other end of the garage, having some sort of animated conversation with someone, which is not a huge surprise in light of this news.
Yeah.
What else is happening in this moment? This is like world-changing news, right?
Yeah, this is a big deal.
I mean, why not invest in magical healers or...
Exactly. Is there any way I can, like... I know
Well,
we saw it on TV, but, like,
the
based
answer
on what
to that would be that magical people make up like 1% of the population, so it wouldn't be a practical... Like, Crash Cart teams have mages, but and so do Dock Wagon teams, but maybe not every team, and it's still, like, extremely expensive to have a mage on your Crash Cart team.
would there be any way for me to tell if there was anything magical about the device, just by looking at it on TV?
So what I'll let you do is do magic plus perception, but you can't really tell because it's a recorded thing.
Yeah.
But what you would be able to tell is, like, does that look like when you use the heal spell? Like, you've closed wounds before.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's roll magic plus perception -4.
Okay. Magic plus where's my perception?
Yeah, I should have put my skills in alphabetical order.
Okay, so 5.
Oh yeah.
3 successes.
That looks nothing like your heal spell.
Okay.
It really looks different. You know, yours. You can see the fibers growing back. Like, you're accelerating the sort of natural life force of the body that would theoretically happen if you had enough time and didn't get an infection, and it would just close up. And often it leaves a scar as well, right? You can see it's almost like it's reversing the wound.
Oh.
And when Alden is, like, finishing their talk, there's no scar at all on their arm. So, for whatever, who knows what nanites are in Alden's system too? You know, like, it could be some sort of stunt, but it doesn't look like magical healing.
Okay.
Magical healing has a look.
More amazing.
Or more nefarious. What is Alden? What are they? It might be something they've done to themselves.
You guys are so pessimistic sometimes.
For a good reason.
Why can't we just make the world a better place?
We'd like
We
to.
can. Corporations are not gonna.
And it's
I
all about
can't do
turning a
that.
profit.
Yeah.
No. I mean, we can just turn a profit, though.
We can turn a profit and make the world a better place.
Yeah.
We're not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, we can. And so Rooster is sort of like snuck up on the 4 of you.
All right.
That's an intense moment.
Yeah.
Like, you could have a 12-foot tall giant sneak up on you. And he's off the phone.
Yeah.
And he says, a friend of mine called, wanted me to do some work. I don't do this kind of work anymore, but it seems like I'm not going to be able to stop you from doing this
Yes,
work.
we want to do the work.
And I want to be able to coach you.
Yeah, sure.
And you
we agree.
definitely can't tell Jane.
We agree. We are 100% in.
Tell Jane what?
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, sure. Whatever it is, yes, we agree.
Bones.
I wouldn't tell her anything.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not a snitch.
Well, put on your nicest clothes. We're going to Dante's. So, Dante's Inferno is this actual, like, 9-floor club downtown. It's well known all over the place. It's a, like, famous Seattle club,
Okay.
right? And it's famous for having the rumor that Shadowrunners go there. Except in the course of this conversation, Rooster explains Shadowrunners actually go there, right? There are a bunch of people who are like posers who show up with their like chrome eye and, you know, that are like trying to look cool like a Shadowrunner, but like the actual Shadowrunners just show up in nice clothes and, you know, aren't carrying guns around all over the place. They just.
Where did you say it was?
So Dante's Inferno is in downtown Seattle.
So are we going there in meat space?
Yeah.
Like, Gremlin is just,
We're traveling.
like, vibrating with excitement and, like, goes, like, Echo, we have to go now. And, like, rushing back towards to get... Like,
Have any of you been to the city?
No.
Probably not.
I think Gremlin might have taken a couple of joyrides that way. Because she does have a
Where would we
vehicle.
gone to go do, like, feisty things?
Well, I don't
Stealing.
think you all have done heists
Well,
yet.
our ID thing, where we stole the fake IDs and stuff, that
Oh.
would have been, like, in the city.
It could. It probably would have been on the edge of the city somewhere, like a delivery truck that you knocked over or something like that. That you know.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Okay.
I think Bones is a little freaked out.
I'm excited.
I feel like Echo might have gone maybe with Gremlin to if there's like any like magical supply shops or anything in the city.
Yeah, the best
To get,
ones
like,
are in the city.
Stuff that Jane won't let her have.
How far
Pretty
is
expensive. I don't know if you would have been in there. I mean, you might have gone looking.
Windy.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
We're like, oh, that's 100,000 new yen for this one item.
Yeah, okay, now I know how much money I need.
Okay,
Writing
yeah,
a list of things that you want.
right.
That's why Gremlin's always telling me we need more money.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Gremlin has probably gone in and bought some of her weaponry there and whatnot.
Oh, I forgot to mention to everybody. Last session got us 3 karma.
Okay.
All right, and that includes Jake
Yeah, no,
for
I
doing
added
the training
Yep.
training montage.
Which puts me not in the negative anymore.
Hey,
Yay.
okay. If you're just tuning in for the first time, I have a house rule that allows up to -1, -2 karma, which just gives you some temporary bad luck while you have bad karma. Sound effect.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
How far away is Seattle from where we are?
Well, in real life, it's about a 20-minute drive. For you guys, it'll take about 40 minutes to get there, because you're gonna have to like go through the Barrens, go to the like bridge that actually works, go over the lake, and then get in through South Seattle and get up to where Dante's Inferno is.
Cool.
It's nothing crazy where I'd be concerned about leaving Blue for more than a day.
Yeah, you'd probably be back tonight.
Yeah.
Probably.
I think
What could go wrong?
Yeah.
We're fine.
Gremlin's super stoked to I think she had gone shopping in the city and bought guns and like has an outfit like when you're prepping for something and it's like this is my Shadowrunner outfit and was like ready to go with it.
Yeah, I love it.
Same for Ashen. Ashen, the minute Rooster said Dungeons Inferno, Ashen was like, okay. What outfit do I pair with what gun? Because I'm definitely going to go in there with a gun because they need to know I'm a Shadowrunner.
Okay, so Rooster reminds everyone that you're going to have to leave a weapon in the car
Uh-huh.
and not take one into the club. So
Oh.
So you can't take weapons in there?
he doesn't want you to.
Oh, okay.
Question,
come on.
what if you are a weapon? Do I have to stay in the car?
No.
Okay.
Fine. I'll just bring my killing hands.
Hmm?
I don't think I have anything to wear, guys.
I think we could probably help you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of feel weird about going there in meat space.
You've probably been there dozens of times in
Yeah,
virtual.
that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, all my outfits are in there, I'm like, can I just meet you guys there?
No.
At my house?
So, interestingly, it's still like noon, right, on Saturday, right? All this has happened in the morning of
Right.
Saturday. The swap meet's still going on, and people bring clothes to that. So,
Yeah.
there's probably stuff up there. It's not going to be couture, but is that how you pronounce that word? I just realized I don't.
Couture?
Couture. Okay.
Or
Couture. All right.
It's like LaCroix and LaCroix.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever said the word out loud before. I've heard it and read it.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Sorry. I'm a word nerd. So when you go back up to the swap meet, everyone's talking about it. right? It's the thing, and people are in like shouting arguments about whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, and there's you can tell like two people have already been in a fist fight, and it's fine. They're just sitting down like because they have bloody noses, but nobody's like killing each other. But there's a lot going on up here, and people are still like doing brisk business. You know, the guy who comes around, this orc guy who sells like stim patches, which is not the like healing thing. It's has like stim patch, trauma patch, all the like standard kind of first aid gear that who knows where he gets this stuff from, but like he can resupply your med kits and all that kind of stuff. He is out there like, you know, this thing is bullshit. You need my stuff more than ever because they're going to come tell you that you're safe. And he's actually doing a lot of business, right? Like, and
sure.
And he has like a little AR like banner, you know, scrolling banner of like, you know, this is bullshit. Is all it says, right? And he's just like doing a bunch, like probably double business.
Echo gives him a thumbs up and leaves him some spiders to help out.
Yeah.
Leave some for the
style.
apartment.
Oh yeah, it's okay. I have a whole nother pocket.
Oh, okay.
Yep. No, I'm looking at the coolest. If I can't bring a gun in, I'm just looking for like the coolest, most badass looking tactical gear that I can find.
Okay, I love it. Right? I love that you're leaning into
And
this.
if I could wear a sign that says, "Hi everybody, I'm a Shadowrunner," I would.
I love that.
So
like
like
black
Legolas
tie?
wearing Trinity's outfit from the
Basically,
Matrix.
yeah, basically, that's the look.
Nice.
I would give you edge if you had any open edge right now. That's amazing. What were you going to say?
Is it like black tie formal, or it's just like high
It's club
Shadowrun?
formal. Club formal. So like
Okay.
whatever you think of clubbing gear now, like that's fine, right? It's not like tuxedos and ball gowns.
Yeah,
It's still like a dance club, and then there's 9 levels where it's all the like kind of themed to the epic poem, and
Okay.
so yeah, and there's like the like meat space, everyone has AR overlays. There's like, you know, you have this cool red jacket and it's on fire and, you know, like all this stuff. So,
Way better in AR.
yeah. So you will experience it, you know, on all those layers, but because all of you have AR glasses, right? At least, I think you have glasses, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
It's in my head.
so did we do starting cash? We haven't really had to worry about money yet.
But we did it when we did character creation.
Yeah, I've got
Okay, so-
430.
Okay, so everyone has like some amount of new yen on their. Okay, so who doesn't need to buy new clothes? You two have outfits.
Yeah.
You probably have something. Okay, so
I probably only go out in the Matrix.
yeah, you
So
probably
I
haven't.
Probably never had to like leave.
Before yesterday, you probably haven't, or before Rise, right? Because you've been going to Rise all week.
Yeah.
But before that,
Yeah.
at least a
I
year.
never really leave.
Yeah. Why
I
would
leave
you?
in the Matrix.
Yeah. Why would
Would I
you?
go anywhere else?
So
in
inefficient.
space?
Yeah.
Or what?
So the options here: you spend 100 new yen, you can get decent clothes that won't get you kicked out, but you may have a minus to charisma checks. If you
I
spend
already suck at those.
if you spend 500, you will fit in. All right. And if you spend 1,000, you'd have a bonus on charisma checks. And if anyone wants to spend 1,000, that's fine. I'm assuming those of you who said you have nice clothes, I'm assuming you have like the 500 range.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Like you don't have a minus, you can fit in.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to spend 1,000 on like couture outfits, that's okay too.
What was the lowest one?
100 would come with a minus to charisma
Yeah,
checks.
that's about what I can probably afford. I'm poor. Also, though, AR upgrade to the outfit.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Meat space look, I could get that $100 outfit, but like I can be, for people that are logged into the Matrix, they're gonna see my persona.
Everyone
with
will
my
see it,
on
yeah.
top AR awesomeness, but like in real life, I look real, probably like barely decent.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, that's probably what it's gonna be.
great.
So I'll just mark that off.
If anyone feels like they want to detail their outfits, we can get into that, but we don't need to have like a shopping episode. That's fine.
Thank you.
Do we need to do anything at the collective before we fast forward?
I'm just gonna tell Blue where I'm going. Make sure that he has food. I mean, he's old. He's like 17, but I'm still like momming him.
Yeah.
Make sure you eat. Don't.
And you're like 20, right?
Yeah.
Because he's your little brother.
Like 21. Yeah. Yeah. Just being like, okay, there's food in the fridge. Make sure you eat. Don't stay on the Matrix all day. Make sure you have water nearby. Eat this.
Hydrate.
And put it like next to him
Yeah.
so that he's not like getting dehydrated and he probably goes on the Matrix.
Yeah, he's like,
And
don't
just as
stay on the
much as I
Matrix.
do.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's like, yeah. Do as I say, not as I do, and you know all that like momming kind of thing. He's like,
Okay.
I probably like leave him some money.
Okay.
So I'll probably take off a little bit more.
Yeah,
I don't
like
know.
$50.
Mm,
I mean,
like
he,
how much is like normal for like a day?
well, actually, like he doesn't really need money here
No.
at the collective. Like he has all the like basic needs met.
Okay.
Like you've got food in the cupboard. He's not going to need money right now. Or if he does,
Okay.
like he probably has like a basic, sort of
Like we have stuff.
Matrix account that
Yeah.
he can use for stuff. He probably does some online work already, like just data crunching and processing and stuff like that anyone can get paid for over the internet.
Okay.
Kind of like Bitcoin stuff,
Yeah.
When you
Just
two,
maybe, like if you need anything, go ask Rooster or Jane.
well, Rooster's taking you into town.
Go ask Jane.
Yeah. Twins,
Yeah.
when you go up
Yes.
to your apartment, all of the spiders are back.
Oh, hey, look.
Why do you think they left?
Maybe they had something to do.
Maybe you weirded them out with trying to change into a spider.
No, I was trying to change into a bear.
Oh, I thought you tried spider too.
Spider was yesterday.
Oh,
Huh. I don't know. I'll ask them when we get back.
yeah. Should probably talk to them, make sure there's nothing weird going
I'll
on.
leave them a note.
Okay. I'm gonna go get ready.
Okay.
All right. So, do we need to
No, I
do
don't.
anything
I got
extra?
no one to talk to.
Okay. or prep or
Nope.
anything. Yeah. Okay.
I just spent the old time avoiding Jane
Okay.
and slipping out the back.
Me pick something
Yep.
flea market.
Yeah, that's yeah.
And
All right.
Watching me, Mom Blue, for movie.
Yeah, I mean, all of you know Blue as well. Like that's
Yeah.
this is somebody you know.
Fine. Let's
Yeah,
just go. Let's go already. I want to go.
So, on the way out, Rooster makes sure everyone has some sort of weapon, right? He wants you to have a weapon with you. You're just not going to get to take it
Concealed
in.
weapon? Oh.
It doesn't have to be. He just doesn't want you going downtown without a weapon,
Yeah.
unarmed, right? You're just going to have to leave it in the car when you get there. And speaking of car, he calls a car service, which sends a limousine, an armored limousine,
Well, right.
through the Barrens,
Yeah.
which would at least triple the cost of a car rental.
Yeah.
Right? And when it gets here, there's an actual person driving. There's an orc driving the car.
What?
Who, so it's this guy driving the car who also looks like probably close to 50, and gets out of the car when he sees Rooster. They hug. Rooster kisses him on the cheek, and then they just have like a really like close hello,
Nice.
and then gets back in the car. And so like this is a car service. You could tell like all the AR tags are like this is a legit car service, but Rooster knows who this driver
All
is,
right,
right?
cool.
So he's probably arranged that somehow.
I think Gremlin tries to hide it, but she's a little bummed she doesn't get to drive into the city.
Well, not right now. But you guys get to have a limousine ride.
Yeah.
On the way there, he shows you all the places in the car where you can hide your guns. There's like 10 different places where you can like hide guns. And he opens one, and someone's like left a gun in there. He's like, "Oh, whoops, that's mine."
Free guns,
Yeah,
score.
yeah. It's like an old revolver. You're like, "Oh, that's mine." And it's big, like it's this huge handle, right? So it's like, "Oh, cool, a troll left this."
Yeah.
we ride into town, right? We get that whole like panning shot of you guys moving through and the reflections moving over the car because it's nighttime by the time you get in there, and it wouldn't be Seattle if it didn't start raining.
Nice.
Right? So we get in there, it's just neon. The clouds are reflecting this sort of reddish purple light back down on the city. The overcast is low such that the biggest buildings, the Renraku Arcology, is a stepped pyramid that is all glass. The top of it is hidden in the clouds. A couple other towers in the city are in the clouds because they're so low right now. The clouds are probably only like 30 stories up. And the rain, medium impact. It's not dumping, because that's not usually how it goes in Seattle, but steady rain. Streets are slick. And as soon as you guys get within range of the city, the driver like just turns his seat around because the car is taken over, right? And so he and Rooster are just making small talk, you know, like how are the kids, blah, 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 you know, like just that kind of back and forth with the two of them. They're not really engaging the four of you, but, well, anything we need to know in the car ride, or just move forward? Okay.
Yeah, no.
How concealed is a concealable holster?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It adds we increase the concealability value of the weapon, and it can even defeat some metal detectors, but Dante's is going to have the very best metal detectors. So there are lots of like clubs and stuff you could get into with a concealed gun.
I was thinking more like my knife.
Oh, I don't think they would even blink at somebody having a knife.
I have my combat knife and I have a concealable holster for it, so maybe like a cute like thigh holster with a knife in it, maybe adding to like the
starting to get the feel of it a little bit. Yeah.
Throw it in there.
I like that.
I have a combat knife as well. So.
Okay.
What about a katana?
This may come as a shock, but it's a little extra. You would not be invited in with a katana.
Duly noted.
Yeah.
I will leave it in the car.
Rooster is surprised when you come downstairs with a katana. He's like, where did you get a katana?
I pulled it out of a dead guy.
Never mind.
Free katana.
Free katana.
All right. So we pull up to Dante's. There's a whole like line of cars waiting to get up. Your car just moves ahead and like pulls into a spot. And it's like you were green light. Like the whole like automated system is like, oh, this car needs to move up to the front, right? It's not like your driver just went and did that. Oh, sorry. Your driver's name too is Brand, right? With a D. Brand, not Bran from Game of Thrones.
Brand.
That's all Rooster calls him anyway, and introduces him as Brand.
All right.
Anyway, they chit chat. Also, Brand has all the like gear to be a rigger. It would be relatively subtle to like a normie, but you all would recognize like rigger connections, which means he can control vehicles and drones with his mind.
Oh,
right.
cool.
So it's a different sort of technology from what Deckers do.
Got it.
Right. He's not like hacking security systems, but actually like puts his mind into a vehicle and is the vehicle for all intents and purposes.
Cool.
So, pull up, you all get out. Brand does not. Brand stays with the car. Rooster, oh, sorry. So, part of the way, like when you guys get most of the way there, Rooster goes into sort of like lecture mode, right? Like, all right, so we're going to meet a friend of mine, Hutch. She is one of the best gun runners in the city.
All right.
We would obviously suggest she is the best gun runner in talking to her. So, as far as we're concerned, she is the best gun runner in the city. She helped me acquire 80% of what's in the garage.
Okay.
All right. She called me today after the news and wanted to put a team together. She didn't say exactly what it was. I told her I wasn't willing to do it, but I knew some people, some professionals.
So what?
He described her as a gun runner.
And the job has to do with Rise?
Yes.
All right.
I don't know all the details. I told her I knew a team of young professionals. And I want you to understand that you are representing me in this deal. I'm going to have very little to do with it. I'm going to introduce you, and I'm going to walk to the next room.
What's her name again?
Hutch.
Okay.
Hutch. She is going to offer you her best price because you're my friends. Do not negotiate with her. Is that clear?
Yeah.
It would be extremely offensive.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
You will have that opportunity later. This is my personal friend.
Okay. I wasn't gonna do okay.
I'll just look at Ashen.
What? Fine.
This is one of the few situations in whatever's coming in your future where you will be able to explicitly trust the person you're about to go meet.
Okay.
I trust her with my life. So, I will introduce you. I'll move to the next room. You will receive the information, and you will not tell me about it.
Okay.
All right. Understood.
You got it.
Let's go. Also, Rooster is in basically a tuxedo, right?
Wow.
Like, it's not like with a bow and a cummerbund and, all that,
Yeah.
but like,
Yeah.
you've never seen these clothes. They're tailored, they fit him perfectly, and he's, a little heavier in his later years and as a 12-foot tall giant. He's no longer just the trim muscle man that he had been, but it's like perfectly fits him, and he gets out of the car and it like the shocks lift up a little bit, and the five of you get out and go into the building. Okay. All of you've left your weapons in the car,
Yes.
except for the knives that we talked about.
Yep. And these hands.
Yeah.
In his brain.
Also, I can kill you with my brain.
And whatever spiders are still being harbored.
Yeah. This dress has pockets.
So,
I am definitely getting there and jacking into AR mode.
oh yeah.
So that
I assume
have
you never
the
left
best-
AR mode.
Yeah, probably.
Most people here are in AR mode,
Yeah.
right? They'll have
Full experience.
they'll have contacts or glasses or sunglasses indoors or whatever, because that's cyberpunk. But what is your AR outfit then? Because we know you got some like basic nice clothes.
Yeah.
But does that mean like suit or dress or something in between, or like how does Bones?
The basic like little black dress
Okay.
type of thing.
Yeah.
That has like maybe a slit that you can see the garter combat knife.
Okay.
To add to like the effect. Because Gremlin probably told her that was like cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. Like, to view. I mean, she really knows based on like VR experiences and like, oh, I've seen
Movies.
people do this. Yeah, I've seen movies and stuff, and Gremlin has one of these. So I'm like,
Yeah, because I probably have it in like a thigh holster
yeah,
for
exactly.
mine.
So I was like, I'll get one too. Maybe borrowed one from her. She's like, it's my spare. But in AR, it probably has like, well, I'm definitely the Bones persona.
Yeah. So a skull at least.
Yeah,
Are you like
skull
skull
at
and bones
least.
as well? Like your whole body is a skeleton?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably like the full, and then I don't know. It's probably like it's like a sparkly, nice overlay with some spike thing
Oh, okay.
that looks like like cute and pretty, but still like I'm cool and tough.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's great. All right. So the five of you go in. You go through the metal detector. It doesn't really do anything. You get pat down, and Rooster does not. he just like nods at the security guy, and he just walks past. The four of you are patted down. In that process, they find your knives, and they just are like, "Oh, okay." Like they just look at what it is, and then like, "Okay," and they continue, and then they finish.
And Gremlin doesn't try to hide hers at all either.
Yep, they don't seem to care about that. So Dante's is okay with blades, small blades at least. Nobody else has anything to find?
No, I was given.
Okay.
I was given strict instructions.
Yeah. I am wearing my jacket though that's got like built-in like armor into
Yep.
it.
And are you in your your sort of modified jumpsuit, I guess?
I'm wearing the jumpsuit, but it's also like added some cool tactical pieces that I picked up that I've been saving and polishing. So it's sort of, and of course, a long pleather duster.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, I guess I'm not wearing my jumpsuit.
All right.
Who needs armor?
Probably
Well, I mean,
fine.
it is like a bodysuit kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I could wear it underneath.
Well, I mean, it's not like a lycra bodysuit. It's
It's more like a. I'm like, can I put this over? And you guys are like,
No.
No.
Can't wear that under your dress. That's ridiculous.
okay.
Um,
She's so uncomfortable.
yes.
Yeah.
So you all walk through the ground floor is not considered one of the levels of Dante's, right? And then it goes all the way through all the themed things. I don't remember what all those themes are.
Make 'em up.
So whatever.
Yeah. I don't remember either.
And you walk through. There's this is the area that you can go to and that anyone can go to, right? You don't need an invitation. You don't need special access. Just random people can come here, and it is wall-to-wall tryhards, right? Like, everybody here at this level like wants to be seen. They want to be cool. They, like all four of you are hit on your way through. Rooster as well. Like there's people, and there's also like sex workers. Just doing their job. It's legal. That they're just all of those things are available. There are also drinks and like probably like drugs up to cocaine, like including that sort of thing, is basically legal. It's legal enough that they can serve it here.
It's a party place.
Yeah, it's that kind of environment. Those things have been legalized. Harder stuff you probably have to go looking for, but it's not hard to find. You just have to make an effort. So all of those things are available. There's also all these like weird like drugs and stuff in the book that
Is it being offered to us?
it's for sale
Okay.
and expensive.
Yeah, then I'm okay. Because if vices are offered, I think we both have the seducer patron mentor spirit.
That's right.
So then we have to, if it's offered to us, we have to roll to resist.
Yeah, it is. It's offered for sale
Okay.
right now.
For sale.
I'm poor. Mentor spirit
Yeah.
can F off.
Yep. You probably feel the pull a little bit of like, oh, I should. I'm not going to.
No, don't have enough money for that.
Eyeing all that zen. All that sweet
Just in case
zen.
I don't overlook something. That's
Uh-huh.
a possibility. What exactly do drones do again? Like, what are they generally used for?
Well, they're all different, right? So some of them can fly, some of them are on wheels, and they're for spying or combat, right? You can put guns on them. They're whatever you would use a sort of mobile camera gun.
So you can use it to, like, send it and search for some, like, do you see through? Like, what is it?
Yeah, well, it depends. Like, they have an autopilot where they would go and attempt a specific task. There are little, like, mini drones that will go, like...
I'm just wondering what I can do with the one that I have.
Yours, I think, is
I have,
not
like, two, but...
super little.
One is really super little.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of them's in my finger.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So that is something that could sort of like autopilot up and like just keep you in sight and maybe record the whole thing from that point of view. That I mean, you could record through your vision.
Yeah.
That's easy. But, having that extra point of view. On the other hand, they might detect the drone moving around and like zap it or something. Like, it's relatively expensive.
Just wondering what I could do with it. I noticed I had it and I forgot.
Yep.
So look at what it does.
Okay, Dante's 9 circles.
But
of
definitely,
hell.
like, anybody could come in here to this level.
Yes.
I feel like there's a chance that Gremlin may have done that at some point and was part of the Try Hard group in the past, and is now kind of moving through the crowd a little more smug this time.
The 5th circle of the Inferno covers wrath, and when you get there, you actually hear right when you come out of the elevator, it is a very familiar track. It's the song of your hometown, orc thrash metal, that. The people you know, like your old friends, who have now moved on and are too good for
Whatever.
all of that. But you recognize the song, and it's kind of an oldie at this point. But that's all right. So this is the thrash metal floor, right? There's a mosh pit. There's all sorts of stuff going on. It's mostly just people drinking here. There's not a ton of drug use in sort of either direction, for whatever reason. And it seems like there are a couple sections where people are just fighting and it's fine, just wrestling or punching. Everyone's just watching maybe or betting or not really. No, it's just over in the corner. There's a fight and nobody cares.
All right.
Not like people are getting murdered, but
Right.
Some back and forth there.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, not too far off of that. You're led through. There's a section where there's some private rooms in the back, and they turn out to be, or at least the room you're led to, is a basically cube space, right, with some really nice couches and seats in there, and the walls are AR screens that are showing the level as if they were windows, right?
Wow.
So it's just showing you the rest of the club, and you're kind of off to one side, so you can look out and see what's happening in the club. When you go in, you meet an orc woman in probably her 40s. Early 40s, fairly pronounced tusks, and a very muscly build, right? Could easily pick you up, Ashen.
Cool.
So when you go in, she's there. There are a couple of bodyguards with her, and they clearly have Uzis in under their jacket, barely hit just politely covered, we're not pulling our guns out right now, but hello, we have automatic weapons,
Right.
And you're here in the 5th level of Dante's Inferno. I guess they can have guns.
Yeah.
The orc woman doesn't seem to have one, but her 2 human bodyguards don't. That they clearly are armed with automatic weapons. Rooster introduces her as Hutch. He introduces the 4 of you to her and says, I think these are going to be the right people for what you were talking about, and I will be right out here if you need me. So he heads over to the bar, and you can see him walk out and, on the screen of that wall, kind of just elbow his way through the mosh pits and whatever, and somebody crashes into him and he just sends them back where they're supposed to go, and makes it over to the bar unbothered and orders a drink. And you can see him from here. He's probably one of the biggest people in the room. There is a higher number of orcs and trolls on this level than you saw in some of the other places in Dante so far, but that's probably just helps being physically larger here. This is a very energetic floor.
Can anybody generally get to the floors and whatever floor?
It's not real clear.
Have I been to this floor?
No.
Okay.
No.
Do I usually
You've seen recordings, yeah, you've seen footage of this floor before, but to get in here, you need some sort of special access, and it's not explained anywhere, how to get that.
When I visit in the Matrix, is it usually the ground floor, Tri-Hard floor also?
Yeah.
So we just hang out there generally?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's there are matrix regions of the building, right?
Yeah.
And the only node you've been to is the ground floor,
Okay.
which is not even one of the circles.
Just the entryway.
Yeah. But there are always hackers there, showing off and trying to show how cool they are, and that is ubiquitous and unending.
I think
So
Bones is freaking out about this floor because it's
oh my god, my people. And
Yeah.
she's like, I love this song.
Yeah.
And like, she's
Yeah, this is your track. Like, this
Yeah.
is it.
it's like her whole playlist.
Yeah. And also there are all sorts of like augmented reality offerings, right? Like you could, for 200 new yen, they'll play your song next. Like you could, get in on the DJ's playlist, and
She's just like, I wish I had money.
yeah, it's like so much money, right? But you could see people like just all over the floor. Like a couple people like put up a song and like it goes into the queue. Like you could see this like digitally happening in the process, so everyone can see what songs are coming up, and it's a very interactive experience. But you're introduced to Hutch. Rooster walks out. You're here with her, and the door closes, and she says, "Please sit down. Can I get you anything to drink or anything else?"
Beverage would be nice.
Vodka.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe a whiskey. That's
All right.
Same.
Okay. She enters something in the AR, and you see the order go off, and like somebody is immediately in motion back to this side of the room. Drops off some extremely expensive. If any of you actually know how expensive this stuff is, I don't know if you'd be able to recognize it, but like it's top shelf. Oh, actually, it would all be like AR tagged with like where to buy this bottle, and like, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, these are like from 500 new yen bottles of liquor, right? Like the whiskey you get is this, like, it's so
It's
expensive, right?
yeah. Like Gremlin is trying to like keep
Like, be
her
cool.
be like as level as possible, but inside is just like, oh my god, everything is happening.
That's great. Let's have you do charisma plus etiquette. You two, actually.
Oh.
I think you two are less concerned about seeming a particular way, or you kind of are, but I don't know, maybe in a different way.
Just naturally, like, I don't know. I think she's just more like social anxiety type of deal.
3
Sure.
successes.
Oh, okay, awesome. This is one of those things where you really only need one. Just
2 successes.
okay, great. You managed to keep the shit-eating grin off of your face.
Oh yeah.
And
I own the place. Like it's just.
and actually, as you moved through the ground floor, you got a bunch of like DMs from people you know
Oh yeah.
who are like seeing your Matrix presence. They're like, "What's up? Why can't we see you?"
Oh yeah.
You know? And so there are people messaging you. You don't have to respond if you don't want to, but like a bunch of people you know, just like casual hacker acquaintances,
Yeah.
are like,
Well, they would see me there, yeah.
not really. They see that like you're registered as there, but you're physically there. You're not in the like hacker bar, you know?
But that sometimes when you go, you can be there with the actual people that are there, yeah.
Yeah, and
But
this
I just don't look the same, maybe.
yeah, and they seem to be
Or it's
partitioned a little bit. Like
Oh really?
yeah, there's some difference, because it would also be a security issue if the hackers could access all of the ARs of the people who are physically here. So it's probably partitioned in a way that you didn't really realize before.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, there's a security layer that you would have to breach
Yeah.
to
Oh, okay.
to go there.
Yeah. So I'll probably respond to some people and be like, "Oh no, I'm like actually here in like main space." I know.
That's so cool.
Super
Like,
weird.
yeah, Pixar, it didn't happen.
I like take a photo.
Yeah.
Like send it immediately.
Yeah.
Like, no way.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of people very impressed with you. A bunch of try-hard hackers who are just,
Some super cool.
yeah. So once everyone has drinks, and we're all sort of comfortable, Hutch, like leans forward. She's like comfortable with what's happening, but she's not like, oh, I'm so cool, you know? She's just like business time. Rooster tells me you know what you're doing, and I trust him. Hopefully, after this, we will know each other, and this will be more of a personal relationship. If
We would
this
like
works
that.
out, I I don't see any reason why that wouldn't happen. I used to do this kind of work. I retired. Now I set these things up. It's a lot easier. What I'm going to ask you to do is very difficult. But you will be paid a lot of money. Like, a lot of money. She sets a cred stick on the, like, glass. Okay, it has to be glass. Like, black glass coffee table, right? So it's this little cylinder, maybe, like, 2 inches long and like a 1/4 inch wide, right? So it's a little cylinder. It is a platinum cred stick. And you can tell, actually, the AAR tags immediately tell you that there's 500,000 new yen on it. $500,000, right? She says, if you decide to take this on, 100 of that will be yours tonight as a retainer, and the rest of it will be yours upon completion of the work. I need you to infiltrate Rise Corp. And she's sort of like, she's like waiting for you to be like impressed or
This is freaking out.
like visibly.
I don't know. Maybe.
Let's roll.
And she's like,
What do you roll for drain?
Logic plus will.
Roll that. That's pretty high for you.
what is will? Willpower?
Yeah.
Cool bones.
She's just like, oh my god, I can buy so much cool shit.
Oh yeah.
And I can like request a song in here.
It's so much money, you guys.
Free.
Okay. Yeah. You managed to keep the surface cool. Wait, how many ones was that?
3 1.
2, 3,
Out of how many?
9.
Oh, okay, great. Not that that's a big deal or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
We say, go on.
yeah. So there's this moment where she's like waiting for you to be impressed or intimidated, and none of that happens. And she's like, "All right," and now she's impressed, right? This thing they're developing has to be bullshit, right?
We agree.
100%.
Okay.
Maybe.
She just like drinks her.
Maybe.
Good.
Whether it's bullshit or not, there's value in it.
Right. So I've been contracted by Mr. Johnson to execute some work at the Rise Corp facility. Rooster tells me you have access. That is not something anyone else on the field has right now. That's why that amount is being offered. That's not every time. I don't want you to get the wrong impression.
Fair enough.
But the people who would like you to do this work would find the outcome very valuable, obviously.
Okay.
Your work would include infiltrating their facility, mirroring their primary server, and onto a physical device. And as she gestures, there's like an image of this like, like really big storage container,
Yep.
like the size of a Coke can, which is an enormous amount of memory, right? Like that's outrageous. No one needs that, right? But you'll mirror the server in a way that will not indicate that anything has been mirrored. You will obtain a physical sample of the device and the material. So hopefully a loaded device that was used in the demonstration, or at least the device itself if you can't actually get the substance of whatever that red stuff in there was.
Got it.
Right? And you will accomplish this without Rise Corp being aware that something like this has happened.
Naturally.
Yes. That's it.
That is it,
All right.
as you say.
Think we're agreed. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Be honored.
the server, the device, the material, invisibly done.
Got it.
Okay. And you could tell, like, she's gauging, like, she's not 100% convinced here because you're all young and, but Rooster vouched for you, and Like, she's doing a bunch of complicated calculations. Okay, well, she takes out another empty platinum cred stick, touches it to the first one. You watch, like, 100 grand transfers over. She pushes that to the middle of the table and takes back the 400, right? That's yours. And if you're in need of any particular hardware, weapons, vehicles, drones, I have access to a lot of those things that would be off the record. And I'd be happy to make those resources available to you. I'm not cheap, but you're not poor.
Yeah.
And the best way to contact you should we need those resources?
There's a disposable account on that cred stick that will work once, and then you would get a new one if we do business well together. But otherwise, just feel free to use that when the work is done and you have something to deliver.
What's your preferred time frame?
Within a week.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Let's get started.
It's a real pleasure doing business with you.
Excellent. And it is pretty clear, like, she doesn't say, like, okay, you can go,
Yeah.
but, like...
We're
She's gonna
dismissed.
like finish her drink and put it down.
I pocket the cred stick, and we leave.
Okay?
Is it like super tiny?
Yeah, it's like, it's a little cylinder about this big.
I was gonna say does it fit in my thing, but I have my drone in there, so it might not be.
Oh,
fit both.
yeah. It's actually like the size of a chapstick.
Yeah.
Right? Like a little chapstick without the cap part, so it's like that size.
It's not like a damn chip.
No. It has a bunch of, like, physical security built into it, but it's cash. Like, if you lost that, you just lost 100 grand.
You got it.
Right? If somebody reaches into your pocket and takes it,
All right.
they just took 100 grand out of your pocket.
On the outside, I'm looking very cool. On the inside, I've got my fist locked around it as we walk out, and I look cool.
And I'm like staring at him the whole time. I was like watching.
Stop staring.
Sorry.
Be cool, Bones.
I say we get ourselves another round of drinks.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, why not? I mean, we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you only had to leave, like, Hutch's private
yeah.
room.
We're-
Like, you don't
let's
have
go to the bar.
So go get real good drinks. I like to imagine that Gremlin gets an extra one and comes over and just sets it in front of Rooster and goes, no details, just thank you.
All right. And, I mean, you're talking, you can't really, like, hear each other's voices, but your AR connections are, like, creating a little, like, subtitles.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Because you're all, you have the, like, friend connections set up, so
Yeah.
it's fine. That doesn't work with just random people. But yeah, he accepts the drink, but doesn't really acknowledge that he knows you,
Yeah.
right? For whatever reason. Maybe that's for your benefit or
we don't-
his or whatever, but he just takes a drink like a stranger bought him a drink, and he just continues sitting at the bar, and he doesn't move or gesture or say anything, but he sends a text message that says, just let me know when you're ready to leave, and we'll go. So
May as well enjoy the evening.
Did we and Ashen? I don't know. I think we've only been there for like one day, right? Did we get any payment yet from Rise Corp?
Oh, you were there all week, right?
Oh, okay.
So you
Did we
were,
get paid?
because you were on the
Yeah,
trip
on the
all
management
week,
work, yeah.
and you had a week's worth of work, and you probably get paid bi-weekly.
Okay.
So
not
next
yet.
week.
Yeah,
2 weeks, maybe.
yeah, and that's going to go into your legitimate accounts. So, your actual legal identification, the money goes in there. If you use that to buy illegal shit, that would be flagged.
Really, where we can like withdraw it.
Yeah,
Or it's
into
like-
a cred stick. If you have,
yeah.
if you had one of these, which you do now, a platinum one I think can hold up to 500, if not $1 million. So you have a
Well-
platinum cred stick between the four of you now.
Yeah. Do we have like individual ones?
Yeah, you have little ones that can hold like $5 grand.
Okay.
But you don't have to put this into another cred stick. You could like actually upload this to your, encrypted accounts.
All right.
So you could split it up right now
Oh,
if you wanted
well,
to.
let's do that, and then we
All
don't
right.
have to worry about. And then it'll be in our like in our servers kind of thing?
Yeah,
or-
you just have like
in-
digital account, like Bitcoin accounts,
Oh,
basically.
okay.
that are-
That's safer, and then we don't have to worry about him like having to
Right.
hold it the whole time.
Yeah, cred sticks are for untraceable payments. She paid you in an untraceable way.
Yeah.
Now you can just move that money to your accounts, and no one knows where it came from.
Keep the cred stick in case we need to do something.
Exactly. Yeah.
Perfect.
Hold it up. Yeah.
Yeah, that is that's
But
a
we-
Money,
yeah.
so we don't
Yeah,
have
we
to
do
lose
that.
it while
We-
we're partying right
We
now.
do that while we
Yes.
drink.
Okay.
yeah, that's a nice device to have. Like most
Yeah.
of you, I don't think any of you would have a platinum cred stick because
Yep.
it's
So
You know.
now we all have 250.
you have
No.
25,000.
Yeah, 25K.
25,000
to your
new
character
yen.
sheet. I think probably this is a good place to wrap for tonight too, because I still want to do like stars and wishes and all
Okay.
that kind of fun stuff. Let's take another 3 karma.
right.
I think
Okay.
everyone, and also I like to take this sort of rolls into stars and wishes, but if anyone wants to nominate someone for something super cool that they did. And let's not feel like pressured about that or weird if you don't feel like you have to. But if somebody did something really outstanding, I'm happy to give another karma out. But we just leave that as an open invitation.
Oh, like a kind of like how you said last time, where it was like favorite moment or something.
Yeah, but let's just do stars and wishes like normal. Everyone, you got 25K and another 3 karma.
Oh, that's the stars, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So let's do wishes so that we can end on stars.
Okay.
And again, wishes are directions the story you want to take, directions you don't want the story to go in, or something that you want to see me do differently, right? Something like that, or something you want me to make sure is included. One of the times vampires came up. Vampires are coming, I promise.
Nice.
At some point,
Yes.
drop one in, maybe. Just want to see how that goes.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
It doesn't even have to be like a mega plot point.
Uh-huh.
Like, see one.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So, does anyone have a wish off the top of their mind?
I have one.
Oh yeah?
I wish for our addictions to come into play.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Okay. That's an excellent use of wishes.
Yep.
And if I can use one more, something with blue.
Okay.
Because he's a dependent, like, I want that to affect me in
Yeah.
some sort of way.
Yep. Let's go to Mac.
I would like to know what happened with the spider.
Spider mystery.
Yeah.
Spider mystery.
It's okay, they're back.
That
I have to
thing.
admit, the dependence thing is interesting because I actually took dependence because I'm the slightly older twin.
Yes. And Echo doesn't really care about money.
Yeah.
Like, legit, you're dependent.
She has to do all the financial stuff
That makes sense.
because I'm like, magic.
Yeah, you're a little scattered.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, to the point where you hold her money, or...
I don't know.
Or
Or do you have like a stipend out of like a shared account so that you don't like
my
blow
account?
through too much?
You're probably also like a user on my account, so you can like
Keep an eye.
make sure that I don't spend it all on stupid magic bullshit.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, speaking of, let's go to Samantha.
Because I have this parazoology knowledge, I would wish for more weird animals.
Yay.
To the surprise of no one.
Weird animals. Okay.
Not just so I can shape change into them later.
Obviously.
That would be weird.
Yeah.
Nothing like you at all.
No. I guess I wish for more combat. I'm a
Oh,
little
yeah.
jealous that y'all got to do all the fight the episode I missed.
Yeah.
And while I'm very glad to actually, I was glad to do like actual face stuff,
Yeah.
which I never do. So that's a whole new feel.
Yeah. Oh, and I didn't mean to. I'm not going to forever step on your negotiation
It's all right.
skill. Like
It's all right.
that was a very temporary
Yes, yep.
situation.
Yep. Nope, I
for
get
that.
it.
That matched
No.
the sort of story beat that
Yes.
we were going for there. But don't worry, that
Yeah.
that especially will come in. So let's start with you for stars.
I liked working the four of us together.
Oh, like seeing the four come together and cooperate and plan and do all that?
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, I agree. Let's just reverse through. Samantha?
I'm gonna star Mac for her masterful regional manager performance.
That was really fun.
Really good.
That was
That
goddamn
was so
delightful. A+.
And so irritating, like in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Like, I hate that character so much that I love it.
Yay, Layla Gold.
Yeah,
Yay!
yeah.
Yes,
So annoying. So
that
good
was
job.
very good.
Thank you.
I'll echo that.
I see what you did there.
High five myself if you're just listening, because no one else was gonna.
No. No one.
Stars?
I liked Bones' reticence to do stuff in meat space.
Yeah, that felt really real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That was really cool.
I liked that you introduced Dante's Inferno.
Mm.
That was really cool.
Yeah, it's also like legit Shadowrun lore.
I know,
so.
I read it
Oh,
when
okay.
I was going through it, and I was like, oh, cool. It took us to, an actual space. But
Somebody does the reading, guys.
a little bit.
I don't do homework. I do
That's
pockets
fine.
full of spiders.
We all win.
It was more like I crammed before the session. I was like, oh, crap.
Normally, I wouldn't bring up stuff from the chat, but there was a question about, since this is so lore heavy, the best place if people want to catch up on the lore for themselves for this game.
You know what? I'm going to write that down as a wish because I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head.
That's a good question, though.
But like, if you Google Shadowrun 2080, there's probably some information there. But I'm going to look up Shadowrun lore source.
Probably like Shadowrun 5e Wiki.
Yeah.
They have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, the 5e wiki is actually really well laid out. I find stuff on there because there's so much information. And if you don't know, the game started set in 2050, and it's 2080 now. So there's 30 years of lore, and there's lore from like 2011 to 2050. So it's really like 80 years of lore. So
Nice.
it's a pretty neat story. For a game that has had now 6 editions, and I think 4 companies own it. It has a surprisingly coherent through line for the lore, which is pretty neat. So I've jotted it down, and I will try to make sure I find a good source for that.
As far as your Karma MVP vote, I would vote Mac for that performance.
Yeah.
Sam brought it up.
I think that makes sense.
pretty
You,
cool.
you should take an extra one.
Oh, thank you guys.
We won't do that every time, but if something comes up, like particularly if I'm not able to give you an edge because your edge is full, like I still like you should get something,
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
and you said you wanted to give him something for whatever the moment.
Oof.
I don't know. I know you
Oh,
don't
Of
want
course, speaking of Edgelord,
to
Ashen the Edgelord,
but
That
I
is
don't
true.
know.
Legolas
Give it to
meets
everyone.
Legolas
Yeah.
meets Trinity.
Yeah, I
That's
will.
a good look.
I'll put it down in my
Just, yeah,
ledger.
yep.
Okay, that's great. Any other questions before we wrap, or stuff that I could bring to the table next time that would help with what we're doing?
Oh.
Actual booze.
I'm not going to do that. There's a huge bottle at the
I
end
know,
of the
it's
table.
not fun. If I can't harass you.
And just so you know, we're going to do the Shadowrun itself a little bit Ocean's 11 style.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Like, because
So watch the movie. 'Cause I haven't seen it in
well,
years.
no, I'll just explain.
Oh, okay.
Also, it's a pretty fun movie if you
a
want
really
to
good
go
I've
watch
seen it. It's just been forever.
I think, I know this is heresy, but I think I liked Ocean's 8 better,
Interesting. Still haven't seen it.
which I'm just such a huge Sandra Bullock fan.
It's a
and-
really
Sandy
fun
B?
movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one from. Oh, okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't see that one.
Yeah, I loved it. But anyway, what usually happens in a Shadowrun game is we spend like 4 hours planning a heist, and then nothing goes the way you plan it. Right? And so what some games do, I'm trying to think of, I think the Sprawl does this, which is another RPG. You just get into it, and then do little like flashbacks of like,
Oh, yeah.
did you prepare for this? How did you prepare
Oh,
for this?
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
And we
What
roll
game
dice.
What game was that?
There's a few that like Fiasco does that sort of. There's a few games that do that, and I think we can do it with this.
Yeah.
Right, because the doing the whole pre-planning session is sort of like, how is the GM going to screw us over? Really,
Right.
is the root of that,
And then
right?
we never get to action.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And so I'm not here to screw you over. We're all here to tell a kick-ass story together, and you might get shot. Right? That could be part of it. That's not because I'm trying to be a dick. That's
Right.
like something happened with the rolls, right? And I think it'll be pretty cool to do it that way.
Yeah.
That's my wish, is that I pull off a cool a GM a cool heist for you.
Got it.
I like that.
Especially since this is really a really demanding heist, where you have to like get this stuff and be invisible and like, leave no trace. That's,
I think I have the spell to be invisible.
well, yeah, but that's not leave no trace.
Yeah.
Your magical signature will be all through that building.
I'm an astral chameleon.
It's harder to track, not impossible. But that's what we're gonna try. So next time we're probably gonna start in media res,
Oh, wow.
which
Okay.
is just whack. It means like the action's already happened. Did you say what's that? Or
Yeah.
oh yeah. So sorry, I didn't want to explain if I was like.
No.
So in media res means like the show starts and you're already in a car chase,
Oh,
right?
okay.
And then it's like you get 5 minutes of a car chase and then it's like 24 hours earlier,
Right.
Oh, okay.
right?
Like Alias.
Yeah, like every episode of Aliens.
Yeah.
So that's basically where we're going to start next time. Okay,
Cool.
I think that's it.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining us for episode 2 of the Greenwood Collective Shadowrun 5e campaign here on Happy Jacks. I'm Jason,
I'm Jay.
Sam?
Candace.
Mac.
and that's it for this week. You're going to
Yeah.
throw up the calendar, I think?
I am.
The schedule?
The schedule. Also, I'm here every single Monday, so tune in next week for the next episode of City of Mist, the Seventh Veil. There's a lot of cool fantasy bullshit happening there.
Oh, and I get to return this Wednesday to Clockwise Court to play my hard-drinking, partying, anthropomorphic unicorn satyr. Sky Pirate.
Yes. Very good. And I'll be back next Wednesday for our Autumn People.
Oh, yeah.
Where I just get to do a whole bunch of weird ghosty bullshit.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Unlike here.
That's so off
But at
brand,
least
but
you'll
okay,
know where
whatever.
your spiders went.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Ellen ate them.
All right. Well, check out all the shows, happyjacks.org/schedule, I think is what it is. And that's it for us.
All right.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
If I told you the things I'd seen on my ways, if I told you the things I've done in my days.